legacies to be defined, history to be restored, new rivalries to come forward, and previous ones to maybe conclude, and so much more as TNA brings forward to us why they are the definition of nonstop action as they bring their Slammiversary. And this is simply predicting episode number 177, the last one of a four-bagger this week, as we bring you our outlook into TNA's biggest pay-per-view of the year, outside Bound for Glory, for being perfectly honest, but this really celebrates the legacy of TNA wrestling. So let's go ahead and leave our lasting impact on this and get right into it. Welcome, everybody, into the discussion. Hello, everybody, and welcome back in here once again to the Predicting. You know what this is. I'm the man, the simple brand, the voice serves us for we're grateful for all things professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat or PayPal the patches. It's as simple as that. And of course, your opinions, predictions matter too. I'll be bringing them up throughout the forum here in the chat as long as you're on topic. And of course, your predictions matter. The forum will be live once these streams concludes in all the comments section across SR Studios and my social media feeds. And you will have until 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night, Sunday evening, to leave your impact and get your predictions submitted. With that being now acknowledged and being foretold, let's go ahead and introduce today's panel as these predictions continue to become more and more and more incredible. This, again, might be my favorite one. I sound like Tony Khan, but each one's getting better than the last. First and foremost, I see he has his hand up, so I will acknowledge him because he also is literally one of the longest lasting impacts, not just on the name of TNA, but also on all of us as fans and friends of the professional wrestling business. Absolutely my pleasure to welcome back to this forum, Jeff Mother, I don't care, effing Meacham. Jeff, how are you, and how are you feeling about TNA Slammiversary? It's so good to see you.
Well, let me quickly point out and remind you that the show is starting at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So having the predictions be open until 7 Eastern will not be workable.
Thank
so
you.
There it is. There it is.
Even I'm forgetting because I didn't have the time on the friggin' graphic. You're right. So
it's also the thing is we're not covering this one because of the lack of access to TNA Plus. So yeah, it's easy to forget. But yeah, the pre-show starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So whatever time you need to have the predictions in by before that.
Yeah, I'll just basically do it at that time. My bad, folks. Again, I'm so used to evening shows. It's weird. It's weird to have a TNA pay-per-view on in an afternoon. That's if someone else's brain isn't broken enough already. Continue, Jeff.
We'll also try not to, compete with NXT or AEW.
Yeah, it's going to be a cluster F on a Sunday evening. But as we are the Super Labo Studios, and I'm still TNA faithful until the day that letters die or be acquisitioned by the Fed. Damn it, one way or another, we will be covering this pay-per-view on demand as well as NXT as your reliable outlook coverage of all things wrestling as official by me, the simple man. Whether I'm solo or with others, I promise you all that date and times to be determined. But anyway, thank you, Jeff. But Jeff, how you feeling about Slammiversary overall, though, my friend?
It's every time I come together with any of you guys for a TNA discussion or a pay-per-view or whatever, I always go back to that little company that could, and they'll be dead within a year, they'll be dead within 5 years. They should have did a Hogan, and here we are 24 years later, and TNA is still a viable, maybe not thriving the way that experts think it should, but I enjoy the product when I get to watch it. It has not been a whole lot as often as I would like in the second quarter of this year, like I said on my post yesterday. But I am grateful that I get to still be a part of a discussion for this company's broadcast and to have so many people that I love and have been acquainted with for so long be a part of the show tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to talking about it now. I'm looking forward to finding a way to watch it tomorrow when I'm here in the JMN Studios. I think I'm on 4.0 at this point in my broadcasting career. How many locations I shot from?
I've lost That's about right.
At this point. But looking forward to watching it tomorrow. Looking forward to enjoying all the wrestling as we always do along with Slammiversary Studios.
Damn it. I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you so much. And from one J to another, that's double J, just as good as JEFFJARREWT, because I deem him great. It is, of course, CEO of Cassidy 18 Studios and our chief brand ambassador here at SR Studios 24 and social media guru, the renegade of wrestling, JJ Williams, longtime lasting TNA original fan as well, with the original X Division title inside that morphing grid. JJ, how are you and how you feel about Slammiversary? Good to see you again.
Always good to be seen, Noah. I am
There it is.
doing well, much like Jeff. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Slammiversary card. I was talking with Jeff a little bit after the Night of Champions watch long, and this is going to probably sound redundant. This is probably going to sound redundant. This is probably going to sound redundant to you, Noah, but like, I'm so far removed from the weekly television products that I'm going in here blind. Like, I've seen some clips of stuff, but my decisions based on these matches are going to be based off of my gut, sometimes my heart, what little I've seen from the clips, and the way you sell the matches is you hype them to give us a little bit of backstory. I'm not picking based off of what I've seen every Thursday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on the TNA Plus app. That's not what I'm going off of. So, but I'm looking forward to it. And, as we build to it, what's up, Pop? Always good to see you in the chat. As we build up to it, I may have to, go off screen real quick, go to my closet, grab that original NWA TNA X Division Championship so that I have that when we get to that match. And I do want to throw this out here because I said this to Jeff. If we can raise $50 in super chats during this stream, El Renegado de la Lucha Libre will be on Shenanigans tonight.
Oh, Lord. JJ, be careful. How hot is it out there in California? I'm just saying. Did he come
That's why it has to be 50 instead of 25.
That's fair enough. I'll keep you posted if my friggin' thing goes off. All right. Fair enough. Well, that being said, thank you, JJ. And of course, we're going to talk about the corset of TNA. That is the X Division in our opener because they always set the pace, usually are the opener, and it's the top that of the night. So you best get ready after we talk about the women in the countdown. But that being said, as we go from the Jays, we go to Mr. C. Charles, who believes still in Chase University. I still think you're foolish for that, but I'm still glad to have you here at City for TNA Wrestling. Charles, how you feel about Slammiversary if your brain's been rewired and rebooted?
It's good now. And also, stop disrespecting Chase U.
Never!
Dare you! But overall, I'm ready for tonight now. I'm ready for a Slammiversary.
All right, good deal. Nice to actually have you on camera. What an alternative. Just like TNA. Hey, continuity, it all works. Thank you so much, Charles. And certainly, last but not least, he is the admin of the FSB Predictions League and Virtual Online Wrestling Federation that I've been heavily involved in as a participant, but he's also been heavily involved across all my City Predicting leagues and conjunction with No DQ, say no DQ. For the first time ever in City Predicting history, you saw him in the chat live on feed. It is my pleasure to welcome the Beast, Rob Grigg. Rob, how are you? Welcome to Simply Predicting and welcome to TNA Slammiversary. How you feel about this pay-per-view?
Thank you for having me. I am excited for Slammiversary like I am every year. It's one of TNA's big shows every year. I don't watch TNA regularly. I try and watch their TNA Plus shows, their pay-per-views, but their weekly shows, because they're taped, I don't really watch taped shows so much. So I don't keep up with all their shows, like all the TNA stuff by watching it live. Like JJ said, I'm going in blind in that aspect, but I am going to be like, I make my picks based on what I know.
Sometimes that's
I am excited for TNA. I've been watching it since 2002, since it began. On and off, so
nice.
Yep.
So you've seen every era thereof, whether it was Jeff Jarrett, Jim Cornette, Aaron
Watts,
John
Callis.
Shall I continue,
every
Jeff?
good and horrible era.
Well, for all you know, your predictions, they might be quite reliable. So happy to have you part of the fray. And speaking of reliable, coming in as well, it's Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz of the Rage of Wrestling. Wow, this is really going to be something special. I'll let JJ figure out the windows here. Walter, welcome to City Predicting. Been a moment since I've seen you. How are you? How you feel about TNA Slammiversary?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little upset that I didn't renew the TNA thing, but trying to cut costs where I
Priorities
can.
over passions.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially after attending live and stuff. TNA's been doing some good stuff, so we'll see.
All right. And yeah, of course, you've seen the rise of the broken universe once again when it comes to the Hardys. So I'm looking forward to.
I still won't get over a broken version of Moose. That shit was hilarious.
You watch that, and I feel like Charles. My brain's broken.
I told you I wasn't lying. You were like, "Wait, what? A broken Moose?" I'm like, "Dude, they did it."
Broken moose sounds like an oxymoron for like a health condition. Honestly.
Broken Moose.
Yep.
Yes. You heard him right.
Oh my damn. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that. We're gonna just delete that. All right. We're just gonna delete that from our brains. Okay.
I missed something.
Don't worry about it. You don't need it in your freaking registry. But that being said, thank you, Walter. And certainly last but not least, rounding out a fantastic 7, one half of the MVPs, the VIPs of the Domingos. Emmanuel, how you feel about TNA Slammiversary? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. Like besides the drama that's been happening to TNA, this should be intriguing. How some story matches could be going, but I wish there was no drama right now because it's really hurting the product itself. And then, but the quote unquote TNA being on sale is like, what are we doing here? Are we gonna see the demise of TNA finally? The cockroach that never died actually dies. I'm not sure how to feel about it. So I know there's a lot of people who have seen TNA since day one. And that's okay. For me, it's like I've been watching once in a while, like catching up with the product because for me, like, it's a little bit too much wrestling because trying to see what's going on with AEW, like trying to.
Well, I've always put TNA at the center of the wrestling universe, and I think this right here defines that, considering this is the largest city panel we've had in a long time, but this is how important we deem what TNA is meant to be, and this is the second, if not the biggest show of their calendar year. So for me, it's a turning point in this company. But I welcome that comment. Again, that picture is still ridiculous. All right. Well, that being said, without further ado, City Predicting community, professional wrestling fans, TNA faithful like me, like Jeff, JJ, and others in all classes galore, and how poetically that he has that picture. And Rob, I see your hand. What you got to say real quick before we get right?
You said turning point, pun intended, right?
And I wonder if that show will come forward.
Leave the puns to Walter, Noah.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to, but then again, you all have been influences on me, and I don't know necessarily for the better. But bottom line,
you like it, Noah.
I don't know if I like it or I just deal with it. There's been a lasting impact on me since I joined this internet family.
Lasting impact. I said,
anyway,
you put up with us.
I do. Someone has to, right? All right, gentlemen, let's get right into it. So again, folks, as Jeff corrected me, thank you so much, brother. This is TNA Slammiversary. This is going to be exclusively on pay-per-view on the TNA Plus app. It will, of course, be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday evening. And that's when your predictions, of course, will be final. And the form, again, will be out and sent to everybody here after the stream concludes. As far as the countdown goes, the countdown, I believe, will be free for TNA Plus either subscribers or accounts. And there is, as Rob's told the 3 up, a triple threat. And we talk about, again, the cornerstones of TNA, the X Division. The other cornerstone, in my opinion, is the women. Ever since headlined by Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, Taylor Wilde, Sarita, Shall I Go On, Daphne, rest in peace. The knockouts have always been truly the alternative to find a woman's identity in professional wrestling. Hello, Harker, Country, Mickey James, and Tara, 2 of my all-time favorites. So here we have this opening contest. You could be seeing possibly a future challenger for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Mara Sade, Indy Hartwell, who just recently resigned, and Elena Black, who looks to introduce an era of Black. All three of these women have a fair share of momentum going in right now to this match. A little bit of jaw-jacking. We see Mara Sade, of course, in that fallout with her and Tessa Blanchard and crew alongside Demon X Bunny. Elena Black, who's literally been spearheading this thing on her own by herself. But we did see Mara Sade, I believe, get the better of her in a one-on-one match with a diamond-studded baseball bat. And Indy Hartwell, who's been going at bat alongside Steve Morella against Stax and Anna Grace, Indy Hartwell has been looking for her chance to finally become the knockout towards the TNA Knockouts World Championship. So simply put, it's a triple threat. Who takes one step closer towards becoming maybe the knockout in TNA? That's the only thing you got to consider. I don't consider anybody here a buffer or a fall person. I just see three women that are looking for that next step towards the ultimate opportunity. Now, because of the size of the panel, because of the indication of the match, we'll just have one person give a thought here for this. And if people agree or disagree or have a different take on somebody else, then I will open it to that. So that being said, we're going to kick things off because he actually has seen them live. Walter, what do you think about Elena Black, Indy Hartwell, and Mara Sade? We got this triple threat encounter in TNA. It's a triple threat with nothing really on the line except maybe pride. But who do you think needs this more to maybe put themselves in the conversation towards the TNA Knockouts World Championship? Who you got?
Elena Black has been on the rise since she's got there. I think she's got a lot of momentum on her side, but believe it or not, I think Indy needs it to get back to that prominence of being the champion, because she's had a few title shots, and I feel like Indy kind of slowed down and lost a little momentum. So I feel like Indy needs it the most, and I think they're gonna give it to her. And I can't figure out Fall Guy and all that either, because all three of them deserve the victory. But I'm gonna go with Indy Hartwell.
All right. So that being said, he set up for Indy Hartwell. Does anyone want to put a bout out there for either Elena Black or Mara Sade, or do we all believe Indy is that impressive and the heart won't quit? Going one. Hello. Rob's got a different pick, and so does JJ. Interesting. Rob, since you're the newest comer here, I will go to you first, and then we'll go to JJ to see if he agrees with your kid's other brain or you. Who do you got in this, Mara Sade or Elena Black?
So, I got Elena winning, but because it could go either way, any one of those three could win. But TNA is like, whenever I watch their pay-per-views, it's usually Mara Sade, Indy Hartwell, Elena Black. The last little bit have been those three interconnecting with each other, and they're either they go based on who they're hot on at the time. Like, 1 minute they're hot on Indy, 1 minute they're hot on Sade. I think they're big on Elena right now because she's a newer signee. So I think Elena gets the win tomorrow.
And I'm hot on all three, just saying.
Yeah.
Damn it, Walter, you freaking idiot! All right.
There it is.
It's going to be at least one of those tonight, I'm sure. Well, thank you for that, Rob. I like the fact we had two on the conversation, and Jeff just foreshadowing the future. He sees the future. All right. Well, JJ, what do you got to say regarding this before we move on? Do you also have, because let's just also put this out in case people don't know, Elena Black used to be involved in a different brand that this man is an ambassador of and very familiar with. In fact, all three of them at one point were involved in that. I think that's some crazy nonsense. But JJ, go ahead and lend your piece, because I do think it's fitting that you talk about what was NXT, that's now TNA, that could define the TNA Knockouts World Championship, hopefully just within TNA Wrestling, damn it. Go ahead. What's your pick?
Well, you took some of the words out of my mouth, Noah. You should have just let me say my piece, because I was going to bring up who was my girl in NXT. Like,
all the above.
Other than Thea, of course, which everybody knows, like, I have been a Cora Jade shooter since I discovered the Rainbow Bright brand.
I'm aware.
you know. And by the way, Noah, where is lockdown going to be next month
Oh,
or
it's
in
gonna be
August?
it's gonna be in Chicago. Why do you ask? Oh, damn it.
So while this may not be announced as a number one contendership, I definitely feel this match is going to have title implications and Elena Black winning. Next pay-per-view is in Chicago. She is one of the daughters of Punk. She is from Chicago. I just think it makes perfect sense for Elena Black to challenge for the title at Lockdown.
All right, fine.
The
That's a fair show.
only way I could see something different happening, and we'll get to it later, would be potentially as part of the reaction of the Knockouts tag titles match.
What are you cooking?
Well,
All right.
one of these three women have been running with the challengers for that title. So
That's true.
how strong do we want to make that team look?
All right. I
But
see your point.
my money, we're Walter and I are back in Las Vegas. We're at the Horseshoe. I'm at the bookie. My money's on Elena Black.
Okay. I'm just going to say this in conclusion. Indy Hartwell just beat Elena Black recently on TNA Impact Television. Mara Sade, of course, beat Elena Black back in that no disqualification match that I pointed out at Sacrifice. And Elena Black, she has not won a match since April when she beat Katie Arquette and Sophia Rose on TNA TV and also Explosion. And to your point, literally, Mara Sade's been rolling on side Demon X Bunny when the Bunny was brought back to life. Yay. And they took down Tessa Blanchard and company, formerly known as the Diamond Collective. So all three of these women right now have had a fair share of mixed fortunes, and nobody right now is in the driver's seat. So it really is anybody's game. And I kind of like that outlook with these three in TNA. But still, fair shouts by y'all. So again, good luck to all three, and definitely set a precipice for what the Knockouts division is and what TNA Slammiversary can bring. Jeff, I see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
I definitely agree. I'll also put JJ's money on Elena Black.
About to say, always been on Black, right?
House always wins, but in this case, I go with JJ because I think Elena's due. She hadn't won since April, so and I think they're not necessarily dropping the ball if she's not champion soon, but they're definitely fumbling it.
About to say, wouldn't be the first time, right, to miss the first down. Okay, fair enough. Nicely done, everybody. Now let's go ahead and get right into the actual show. And as I said, for those that don't know, I think we all know the TNA formula is about who spearheads the rest of the nine sets the pace. Well, you might as well start all the way back with TNA Day 1 when it comes to the division that was defined truly by no limits. Let's dive in and raise the bar with this year's Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. Oh, boy. We have Fabian Aichner, of course, formerly involved in WWE. You might remember him as part of Imperium, who recently came and crossed the line. Mr. Alexander beat Leon Slater thanks to the system's help in 2 out of 3 falls to finally seize the TNA X Division Championship, stopping Leon Slater from surpassing Austin Aries as the longest reigning X Division champion in a single run. Damn it. And, of course, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, former champion. Casey Navarro, formerly, of course, known as the Promise, used to roll alongside AJ Francis, but finally put that to bed, thankfully, and crashed that jet. And was able to beat him, of course, no disqualification match. Now finds himself involved in the X Division Championship picture. Amazing Red is back in TNA. Yes, freaking go, please. Formerly involved in Ultimate X and former X Division champion in his own right. We got a Chippendale dancer apparently involved in this as well. And all right, who's gonna do it? Jeff or freaking JJ? Say who the guy is on the far left, right, and what it's about before I introduce more about this match. Go ahead.
The king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian.
Damn it! And this is his first Ultimate X match since 2011. When he last won the championship, successfully retaining it against Jeremy Buck, Max Buck, and Robbie E. Oh, at Victory Road 2011. This will actually be his 6th Ultimate X match, actually. Kind of crazy. Bottom line, folks, for those that don't know, to win Ultimate X, you got to climb the truss, go across the ropes, and seize the title in the middle of the cross. And I believe that literally both feet have to hit the mat, and you will leave the X Division champion. Now, in typical No DQ fashion, when it comes to multi-person warfare, thank you. You, everybody, of course, know when the field involves 6 or more, you get 2 picks. So that applies here. Primary worth 2, secondary worth 1. In my opinion, this is probably the top 3 of the marquee matches on this entire card. So I think it's only fair that one says their piece. I'm expecting at least 6 of the names to be picked amongst this field. So let's go around the horn and see who you got leaving with the X Division Championship. And I think it's only poetic that I start literally with the man holding version 1 on his shoulder. Acknowledge it, damn it. There you go. Hi, JJ. So, JJ, who you got leaving with the X Division Championship? Good luck.
So I can literally come up with reasons for every single one of these men to leave, including Mr. Elegance. You know, Mr. Elegance winning it would just make them even more insufferable, especially if Heather and M can somehow, some way retain over Demon X Bunny. Then you add more gold to the Elegance brand.
Urge to kill rising.
Breathe. No.
I'm just saying there's a logistical reason for him to win. Now, spoiler alert, you know damn well I don't want the Elegance brand to beat Demon X Bunny.
Yeah, no.
But there's a logistical reason for him to get that belt. You go to KC Navarro. It's a guy here, a kid that they can literally throw the company on his back like they did with Leon and let him have a nice run with it, because I don't see KC Navarro being one of those guys to leave the company anytime soon, the way that I see a Leon Slater.
No.
Fabian Aichner. Jeff made a great point today during the watch along about Imperium and, you know, behind the music, where are they now? I'll let him get a little bit more in depth into that when he gets his opportunity to speak. That way I don't steal everything from him.
Well, thank you.
But the fact that Aichner is here re-solidifying himself as Fabian Aichner instead of Giovanni Vinci.
Yes.
And looking at what his Imperium brethren have done is reason enough to give him this belt. So that takes 3. Cedric Alexander, I feel like he hasn't had the belt that long.
He hasn't.
So a retention for Cedric would make sense. At least let him hold it till Bound for Glory.
He won it last month on May 14th, like I said, 2 out of 3 falls, and this would technically be his first defense.
Exactly. First defense. How many people not named Sasha Banks lose the title in their first defense? I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? CEO?
You're not sorry, and you did.
Yeah, everyone heard that as far as the West Coast goes and the East Coast continue.
Leon Slater, I mean, again, you want to talk about a kid that you threw the company on their back and carried it to heights. But his contract is coming up in the fall. So they're not going to give him a second run with the championship just to have him turn around and lose it at Lockdown or Bound for Glory. He's probably going to keep losing on his way out, at least in these big matches. He may get the occasional, you know, throwaway match victory, but these big title opportunity scenarios, they're not going to strap anything to Leon because he's probably WWE bound. That leaves the 2 legends. Frankie, the future Kazarian, the king of TNA. As he used to say, and Jeff knows this slogan oh too well, the future is now, and the future looks good.
Yes.
Option C is always a thing.
Oh God, please, please.
Calm down.
You know, he wins this match again for the first time in 15 years,
That's correct.
and then cashes in option C.
Down for glory.
Even though it won't be in LA or Anaheim or anywhere near us, let him get it at TNA's WrestleMania, essentially.
And now let me reevaluate my picks.
And that just leaves the man who runs the House of Glory. The man who last year teased everybody by leaving his boots in the rain just to turn around and grab them. I'm not done yet. Could there be, I see Rob making the cutthroat, could there be one last glory run for Amazing Red? Again, I don't think it would be a huge X Division run. I think it would be an option C scenario. I think if Red were to get it, he would cash in that opportunity at Bound for Glory, and maybe, just maybe, Bound for Glory would be the end of Red's career. The man who runs House of Glory, if he cannot be successful at Bound for Glory, maybe the glory days are gone.
It's a lot of glory.
Right?
Now, gun to head, got to make a pick. And I get two of them, you said, right?
That's correct, good sir. Everyone does.
My number one pick, Cedric Alexander for the retention.
All right.
My number two pick, and don't go texting him so he kills me, but I've got Red. I've got Amazing Red as my number two for that Cinderella story.
Wow.
Everybody doubted me when I said Sami Zayn was walking out of there with the WWE title today.
Fuck right.
Don't doubt me when it comes to nostalgia, because that is what Slammiversary is. It is an anniversary show. It's about nostalgia.
Correct.
AJ Styles returned last year at Slammiversary.
Yeah.
Amazing Red could very easily walk out of there with this belt and then cash in option C, like I said. Don't underestimate Amazing Red. Look at how many people copy his code red.
Yo.
Oh my lord.
Zelina Vega, Sky Blue, Cold Blue, Pop Rocks, Innovator. And again, I think he's on the tail end of his career. Give him one more glory run. Red's my number two.
An incredible breakdown and assessment and preview of the 50th number plus Ultimate X match in TNA history amongst this star-studded feud of the future and the present and the great and those that can be. Well done, JJ. That being said, there's your setting ballot. He's got the champion retaining and Amazing Red as his secondary. I also will say this as I go down to Jeff. Amazing Red has been involved in 4 Ultimate X matches. He's only won one of them back at Bound for Glory 2009, and that one was literally for the TNA Division title. In the genesis of Amazing Red Kazarian's career, when it came to one-on-one matches, even over a vacant X Division championship, Kazarian got the better of Amazing Red. In a 6-person preview this past Thursday on TNA Wrestling, Jeff, your boy Kazarian snuck in the win off Leon Slater's work with a roll-up and got the win for his 3-person team. And we all know Kazarian can be an ultimate opportunist here, and he brings probably the most level of experience in this environment overall amongst the entire field. So, Jeff, what you got to say regarding what JJ said? Go ahead.
Well, he also trained where, Mr. Kazarian?
I believe California.
No, he first started out with a
Killer Kowalski.
Killer Kowalski, that's right. Killer Kowalski, remember Kennedy Worsfield.
And where's Kowalski based out of primarily? What area of the country?
The east over
Northeast,
here, like
Northeast New England area. Yeah.
New England
Okay,
State,
I just want to think about that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Slammiversary and then Boston.
So let me briefly step out of my in character thing here and say I texted this man. He's crazy. He in his damn match. I told him so. I told his wife so.
Oh no,
you a crazy boy. And I as your friend, I question you. I love you, but I question. All right. Damn it, Frankie. Anyway,
live in the moment, Jeff. Live in the moment.
And I get that, and that's great. He got a beautiful wife, beautiful child. He need to be throwing himself up to the Ultimate X and risking his shit. What's wrong with him? It's
Damn
bad.
it, Frankie, you freaking idiot.
Sucks so bad. Why do we gotta suffer elsewhere? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Angels are just the shits. Like we gotta like have some good in our lives here. You know what I mean?
There's gotta be some good out there.
It's gotta be. Look, JJ brought up the point I made during the Night of Champions watch along. The fact that Gunter is in main event world championship matches, the fact that Ludwig Kaiser is the most over dude, I think, in WWE right now, and the fact that he was involved in what many, not just the NorCal Nitwit, but many are calling the best under the WWE umbrella match in history. Fabian Aichner's got a load to live up to. And if we're being real with ourselves, he's never going to be the world champion. That's just not his lot in life, right?
Right.
But he's reproving himself as Fabian Aichner after that disastrous gimmick change toward the end of his WWE run. So I like him being here. I love me some Leon Slater. I think the world of that kid. I just, more than just my dislike of the person he was chasing, I'm just so mad that he couldn't surpass Aries. Aries is a great in-ring worker, but I'd rather him not be on the history books if I can help it. So I love to see do good things from him. Again, Cedric Alexander just won the championship not too long ago, and I think he is worthy of a run. That guy's been worthy of runs for the last 10 years, and he should get a run here, personally. KC, have not seen enough of him to have a valid formulated opinion. I just like what I see so far.
Fair.
And then you got Red, who is another crazy person. He's not called amazing because he happened to work with Spider-Man. He's amazing because he's amazing. And then you've got Frankie, who just, no matter how many times I think he's going to, just settle into that, that legend role, that the passing down the knowledge role, he just comes out there and just continues to be not only the coolest wrestler alive, but one of the best around. Nothing's going to ever keep him down, as you know. He's the best. I'm not saying until shenanigans, maybe.
That's right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Super chat.
Hey, we need to do a karaoke this month between freaking 4th of July next week and Disneyland's anniversary and a couple weeks after that. We got to get some sort of combined karaoke hybrid, like patriotic songs and Disney songs, because I'll sing that shit to all fucking night. I don't care. I'm digressing.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm wavering way off. My picks,
you're good. I got
Cedric to retain is my top pick. I want that for him. And I'm going to go with Frankie as my second pick just because I want that so bad. I want him to option see it. And I will tell you this. Disney World's only an hour drive from Tampa, which is where Bound for Glory is. Can very easily book a decently discounted hotel at Disney World and have somebody drive me into Tampa to watch Frankie Kazarian regain the world title. He gets a shot at the championship. I'm going to be in Tampa in October. I'll find a way.
I will hold you to that on the timestamp, and if I find out that becomes a thing, you'll be the first person I text. I promise you that.
I missed him winning the world title in real time because they couldn't fucking book it in LA because, fuck NXT for that. Said what I said. Said what I said. I don't care. I love Trick. I love Trick. I believe in Joe Hendry. Fuck Frankie on that. And I love all ego. I love me Smith and Page, but God damn it.
You were there for Rebellion for that crowning moment, and
mama was there.
Crashing the table. It was
Good
over.
Jeff, who did you say you believed in?
Oh, shit.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Or be cursed.
Shut it up, Charles.
What?
Bloody hell. Get that off the screen.
Hendryhausen. Book it.
Hendryhausen. Bloody hell.
All
right. Well, that being said,
anyway, yeah. Cedric to retain and Frankie to do Frankie things. Let's be real.
He's going to do that here. He knows how to use his environment to his advantage. We know that.
Just remember, you have a beautiful wife and child, Frankie. Don't be stupid.
Look, as long as he doesn't do the slingshot guillotine leg drop from on top of the ropes, I'm sure he'll be fine.
For fuck's sake, can we not do that, please?
Or Leon Slater do a swanton 450 at the very top of the damn thing.
Or anybody take the AJ Styles bump. Like, no.
We don't talk about that one. That was debilitating, nearly. That was worse
than Elevation. It could have been.
Yeah.
Can we just resurrect the flux capacitor for this show?
Oh,
yes. Yes. Everybody, like Frankie needs to do the Spanish Fly until somebody fucking gets it.
Wait until we get lethal lockdown. We have somebody running across the cage again, and yeah.
Why must you re-bring up live in-person trauma? Why? Do you understand the amount of alcohol Elix had to ingest to get over that, and I had to ingest to get over watching that? I know.
Yeah, I watched it live too. So
okay, but live in person.
But Jeff was
not
there.
in person, but
I was
there with SoCal Val digging her nails into him.
Yeah, like dude, there's a legit scar on my arm, fucking 22. Almost 22 years old from SoCal Val literally gripping me because her friend Elix Skipper damn near died in front of God and everybody. Like, no, I don't need that shit no more.
Yeah, literally. He is a 110% live witness as we put away the past and look towards the future of the X Division, the division defined by no limits. Thank you, Jeff. All right, Rob. Now you're on the bubble. So far we've had Cedric Alexander, Frankie Kazarian, and Amazing Red mention. Are those the names that you were thinking about, or do you have somebody else in mind outside of that? What are your two picks?
Well, I like all the scenarios that both of you have laid out. But I only see 3 possible winners. I don't think Fabian's winning. I don't think Elegance should not win. He should not win. Leon Slater, I don't think he should win just because he should be going up further. And he's possibly out the door and on to another 3-name brand. Then there's also there's a couple people that were announced for the match. Like Fabian Aichner. He was just like announced backstage just because he's Italian, like Santino. He's like Santino's like, yeah, okay, you're in.
Santino's Canadian, but nonetheless.
No, I know, but storyline.
I get it.
Okay, babe.
Oh my God.
That's profiling and profiling. Bro.
Yeah, well, you watched that episode. Santino said, yeah, you're in.
I get it, but continue.
So then there's Amazing Red, who just got announced at the very end of a TNA Impact episode, be involved in the match. I don't think he's winning. I think he should have been in another match that I will talk about later on when that comes up. Okay. But my 3 picks and narrows it down to Cedric, Navarro, and Kazarian.
Ooh, Navarro. All right, but you only can do 2, so what's it going to be?
So my number 1 pick is Cedric retaining.
Seems to be the formula.
Yeah. My number 2 is Navarro because recently his uncle passing away and maybe them wanting to give him something because of that.
All right.
Which AEW is in the same boat with Maya, but I don't think they're going to do that. But that's another show.
All right.
Stick to TNA.
I appreciate that.
So,
I do like the fact you played the sympathetic card because TNA is about those moments of, I feel like, encouragement that the crowd buys into when somebody goes through so much and yet they still bring so much forward to prove why they're here. And TNA has been the definition of that for many people's stories and rises. Parker Country Mickey James is one of them, going all the way back to when she was originally with Raven, close to Raven, Nevermore. But all right. But again, I love the fact we got a different name dynamic. So he has put in Cedric. I'm going to be curious if someone says Cedric not for primary. And now we have Casey Navarro in the mix. Okay. Walter, let's go to you next, bruv. Again, you were there live. What are your thoughts on this? Again, Leon Slater, I think it was what? Less than days or so from surpassing the record. And last year at Slammiversary is where he won the championship, became the youngest champion of all time, endorsed by AJ Styles. Now we find him in Ultimate X 1 year later. Imagine him adding that to his resume. But to what people talked about him being bigger and better things, we were holding out for him maybe challenging for the TNA World Championship. And it hasn't happened yet. And now we don't know if it ever will happen. With that in mind, what do you think about this?
I think it was literally 1 day away, but there's a lot of us, so I don't want to be long-winded. But I got Cedric retaining as primary and Casey Navarro as the second pick too.
Oh, Casey Navarro. Okay, fair enough. And again, you were there live, so I mean, again, you have an inside look where maybe you're more right than anyone else here. All right, Emmanuel, what about you? What are your two? You know what? Fudge it. I'm just going to say it right now. Yeah, Cedric's my primary as well. I think it's safe to say everyone's primary is Cedric. So, Emmanuel, just talk about your second pick.
How do you know, Noah, what was my primary pick?
How do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. How do you know?
I do know.
All right. Anyways, like my secondary pick, I was going to pick Amazing Red. Now I'll agree with JJ what he has to say. Like the Slammiversary, the nostalgia's there. There's a reason why they brought him back, unless he's going to be inducted to the TNA Hall of Fame. But
that's a fair shout.
And other than that, like what other reason why you brought him back? It'll be a great way to boost up the get work for the younger people with the Mason Wrestler. This is going to be my first time seeing Mason Roy in action because I missed out the TNA back in the day. So that's my fault. So it's going to be interesting, but I know the recognition of his name, like with this finishing move, how to do it properly. The DE, just saying.
Many imitate. No one can duplicate. Continue.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nobody could duplicate it, the original, but for me, that's my secondary pick.
All right. And last but not least, Charles, pop out your manacle. Who you got besides Cedric? Who's your secondary? I'll be surprised if you pick a name that hasn't been said. I think we've almost covered all the field except for Fabian Aichner and Mr. Elegance, and rightfully so.
Well, my second pick was, in fact, Mr. Elegance. I was going to play that card at some point tonight, but I did it for her. But, here we are.
Why?
Well, two things. I think Jeff's giving me the side eye right now.
I'm giving you the side eye. What the fuck?
Because of two things. One, so I'm afraid of what's going to. Thank you for that. Well,
You're not welcome.
Well, two things. Considering that I already know who I'm picking later on for the Knockout Tag Title match, I just see a clean sweep for the Elegance brand tonight on the show.
Charles, I'm warning you. I'm gonna cut you off this fucking feed if you say what I think you're going to say during that match. I'm warning you right now.
Wow.
Do not. Mess with that man's bunny. Don't do it. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Everyone
Put
shut up!
the belts back on the bunny.
And then have her do a Stacy Keebler style photo shoot.
Jesus Christ. We're going to crash Noah out. Stop it.
Charles, you're so Mr. Elegance. Okay, so everyone said Cedric, and we basically said every name except for Fabian Aichner, and I'm just going to say, like I said, Sid Alexander. I mean, it's one of those things where I look at the future of the TNA World Championship, and Mustafa Ali is not in the equation. Leon Slater is not in the equation. If we've already ran back freaking Kazarian and Mike Santana, that was the better part of the story of last year. And you also don't know, again, was Amazing Red a one-up to boost ticket sales, or are we trying to make a first guy? And to be fair, Mike Santana, Amazing Red, they're both New Yorkers. So, I mean, there's also that as well. That could be a match. I think I'm going to go, though, again, Cedric just got it. He needs to retain, I think. I don't think I need to see that Switch Championship flip in less than 40 days. So, Cedric, primary. Secondary, I want to say Leon Slater because I want him so effing bad to do option C, but I feel like they're just going to pull off some sort of Bound for Glory gauntlet, and maybe he gets it there, or Bound for Glory series and gets it there. Either way, he's a future challenger for TNA World Championship, or he needs to be before he leaves TNA. But I think my secondary right now, considering he literally won it last year, and if you can make this a stage, I'm gonna go with swing with the fences, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I think I gotta go with Amazing Red. I don't think this is just one of those things where it's like, he's here, let's boost ticket sales. Why not give him a moment? I'm gonna go with Cedric and Amazing Red because I really want to see Amazing Red with this title one more time because I think he deserves it. I mean, he's a former 3-time X Division champion right now, so I think it'd be a cool moment, honestly. I really do. So, yeah, Amazing Red, Sid Alexander. All right. Well, that being said, why Charles just made my blood boil. Thanks a lot, bro. Let's go ahead and move on from there to someone that should be a little bit easier. Bang, bang, not Mick Foley. Eric Young, the man that has lived or died 6 or 7 times. He's had more resuscitations than freaking King whoever. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. His freaking wives. If you know, you know, folks. Straight up, it's a grudge match. Eric Young versus Ricky Sosa. Ricky Sosa, of course, who recently came into TNA. He met Eric Young on the bad end of a pile driver and was out for a period of time. Also, he came back and he cost Eric Young, preferably the TNA World Championship, when he challenged Mike Santana a couple of weeks ago. So now we got a one-on-one grudge bout here. Eric Young, who's already been involved against Leon Slater, who did beat him, by the way, despite the fact he took a pile driver previously. And to my knowledge, Eric Young has only had one pay-per-view win this year against BDE, who's not even involved at TNA Slammiversary right now. So straight up, do we see Eric Young's cleanse coming where he freaking is going to, purge Ricky Sosa from TNA Wrestling? Or do we see Ricky Sosa drop Eric Young, at least in this match, and hopefully move on to bigger, better things? Because when he was introduced by Chris Bay, I could have sworn this man was going to go after the X Division Championship, if not be involved in Ultimate X. That's not the case. Straight up, grudge match, short, sweet, and simple. One person say their piece. If we have a disagreement, we'll continue. Otherwise, we're going to move on immediately. Let's go to Emmanuel in this case. Emmanuel, bang, bang, Sosa, or Eric Young, violent by design. Rest in peace, Joe Doring, by the way. Who you got?
I was gonna say Ricky Sosa. Like the newcomer needs to get the rep from Eric Young. Like where did the storyline go? Like for Eric Young, like we're expecting a faction, but an area began. He was talking about like the cussing and just dropped out of nowhere.
And this one, Eric Young's not the purge; he's the proving ground. Let's look at his track record. Come on now.
Yeah.
Doesn't Eric Young have a title shot coming up because he won that Battle Royal?
No, he already had it and he lost.
Oh, he had it. Oh.
Thanks to Ricky Sosa returning.
Yeah. So, for me, like, it's obvious, like, if they're going to really push TNA into having newcomers and and make it the product more appealing. Ricky Sosa needs to win this and start developing the newcomers and the new stars of TNA. If not, then it's like, what are we doing, TNA? Like, you can't rely on the veterans forever. So it's time for them to get the boost.
Paul Heyman said on Chris Van Leet's podcast that he may have been involved in TNA during 2010, but the focus was pushing legends and leaving the younger talent underneath them, and he didn't want to be any part of that. Talk about putting back a bygone era. If Eric Young is deemed immortal, I hope that you are wrong in that outlook, but Ryan, your prediction. That being said, he said, bang, bang, Sosa. He's got Ricky Sosa winning. Does anybody disagree? Going once, going twice. Good folks. Okay. It's like, seriously, come on. If Ricky Sosa loses, what are we doing here? Rob? Really? Oh, okay.
So I have Ricky Sosa winning, but I will say I am worried because they do have Eric Young winning matches that he should not win. And this year he does have, I was just looking back at his wins this year. He's beaten Rich Swann, BDE.
Yep.
These are his
EC3.
Yeah. Brad Attitude, whoever that is. Brent
That's
Oakley.
an independent talent.
He defeated EC3 after a no contest, and yeah, so he does have more than just one win, and then he had that.
Yeah, but the key thing, Rob, two of those men that you mentioned are TNA veterans. One was literally a social media.
Yeah, well, Brent and fucking BD are both social medias.
Well, here's the thing, though. Brad's not signed. BDE is, as
no,
far as I know.
Yeah. Brent Oakley, he's not signed, but yeah.
Right. But bang, bang, Sosa, Ricky.
I have Sosa. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
It would not surprise me if Eric Young won because they do that with him.
I really hope Eric Young's the last stand that believes that TNA still needs to endorse in the future. But at the end of the day, I don't even know what Eric Young's doing there anymore. Simi Callahan is shocked that he was released, and so am I. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. Regardless, bang, bang. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there. And because he instigated me, and because it might be the last time he's on this stream, we'll start with him. Let's talk about Demon X Bunny versus the Elegance brand for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions for a division that doesn't exist. Charles, again, I fucking warned you, and I will literally rip you a new one if you say what I fear that you're going to say. I'm not fucking kidding. All right, straight up, Rosemary resuscitated the bunny, Allie, back to life after going through the undead realm and basically repenting 7 deadly sins. You fast forward the clock with the Diamond Collective of Tessa Blanchard, Crawford, and Mila Moore. I think that's her name. And basically now we, of course, have this tag match where Demon X Bunny, alongside Marcel Day, to JJ's point, I believe he brought up in our opening discussion, got the better of the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions and the Elegance brand as a whole in a 6-way. And Allie just signed to TNA Wrestling. Congrats to her. TNA, you fucked this up. I will literally boycott your brand. Bottom line, though, the division without a tag team division, the Elegance brand, have held it down since beating the Inspiration. So, straight up, do we send the Elegance brand down the rabbit hole or 7 below and introduce Demon X Bunny as the new TNA Knockouts for tag team champions? Or does this division that doesn't exist remain Elegant? God help my blood pressure. Let's go around the horn and see what you all think. And Charles, we will start with you fucker. Who you got leading with the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships? Rosemary and Allie or the Elegance brand? And Rosemary, by the way, folks, has been a multiple-time TNA Knockouts Women's Tag Team Champion as part of a Decay with Jessica Havoc and Lavera Loca Taya Valkyrie. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Charles. Speak your mind.
Yeah, here we go. You know what I said earlier about the clean sweep thing? I always said that when it comes to commentary. I don't see the Elegance brand winning this match. I said that just because of what they could say on commentary during the show. Depending on when these two met the Ultimate X and the Knockout Tag Title match placement on the card.
All right, fair enough. That's all you guys say regarding this.
Yeah, I was gonna say more. Rosemary and Allie gotta win the titles because if they don't, then what are we doing? Because there's no one left at that point.
Yeah, you think? What's the division without a division? What's the championship without somebody to go after it? Insert the Elegance brand, who has been champion now for 163 days on this dead gum freaking second run, including a win over Mickey James, ODB, and Terrence Rebellion. That still pisses me off. Elegance brand, of course, has defended these successfully against the last team they did have in Indy Hartwell and Zaya Brookside, and even NXT's Zaruka, and of course the Inspiration, who were the previous champions. The only thing you gotta know about the Elegance brand, folks, previously they lost a Knockouts Champions Challenge where Elena Black, Marcia Day, Zaya Brookside got the better of Lei Ling Lee, who was with the Elegance brand because they're champions. That's the only reason that those freaking yahoos were together with Lei Ling Lee. Recently, though, on TNA Wrestling, Demon X Bunny and Marcia Day did beat the Elegance brand to earn this opportunity. Thank you, Charles. That being said, he's got new champions. Let's make this short, sweet, and simple before someone really pisses me off. Does anybody, I swear on everything, sure in my heart, does anybody think the Elegance brand is going to retain, or can we move on? Going once, going twice.
I'm just kidding. Call me Alice. I want to go down the rabbit hole.
All right, good people. Okay, I feel a little bit better about myself. I don't have to go into a rant. I don't have to overpassionately endorse why they need to win and send these people down the red light
You better
district.
look again,
So
Noah.
it's all good.
No, wait, no. I don't think they're retaining. I just want to say, Ash Elegance is worth Dana Brooke. I think is better than Ash Elegance, and that's saying something.
I think it depends on what you interpret via resume or via presentation, because there's somebody here that will 100%
both are horrible. Both are
I
horrible.
I will dispute you on that because Dana Brooke was as bland as a jar of mayonnaise.
Okay, yeah, maybe Ash Elegance is a little bit better than Dana.
She's a freaking knockout tag champion and freaking.
He's still horrible.
Ash by Elegance was TNA's answer to Timeless Tony Storm.
If the Elegance brand retains the tag titles, I just quit. Like,
Look, we're just gonna leave it like this.
Please.
If Demon X Bunny win the titles, Noah is buying this.
He actually might be right.
I would buy that.
All right.
I like how he did deny it.
Moving on. Thank you, JJ.
That was fucking awesome. I would buy that.
The Demon X Bunny for life is all I gotta say. All right. Moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, Emmanuel, you got your hand up. Why do you people keep instigating me? What do you gotta say real quick? I'm trying to move on.
I'm just saying, if the Elegance brand keeps the title, you have to you have to give up on TNA.
No,
Stop it, JJ.
There's no rhyme or reason why they should be keeping the tag team titles.
Thank you.
I will dispute you
brought
on that.
Allie back for a reason.
Brought her to life.
Yeah, brought her to life for a reason. Give them the titles. They'll breathe new life, pun intended, into those championships.
All right. JJ's trying to speak now. Let JJ speak and finish up because y'all are really trying to raise my blood pressure for all the wrong reasons. JJ, what are you trying to say?
The reason for them to keep the titles, and again, Noah, it's not because I want them to this time. You know I've been an Elegance brand shooter, but I've got Demon X Bunny here. But the reason for them to keep the titles is exactly what is happening here right now. People are going to be pissed. People are going to continue buying tickets to see them lose.
No.
You've gotta have those good heel champions that you want to see the baby faces overcome. The baby faces are always better on the chase. If Demon X Bunny gets the titles, who do they have to feud with?
They can
The
send the
Elegance brand.
Yeah,
That's it. There are no other teams.
I get that, but JJ, let's be honest here. They can send them to the Undead Realm and they never have to be seen again. That's another beauty spot for TNA Wrestling to restore prestige to a division that can build from the ground up. All right, we can see a genesis with Demon X Bunny at the forefront. They did not resuscitate the bunny back to life after fucking 7 years, but on the lose to that plastic bimbo wearing Brad. Damn it.
And you really think people are tuning in to see the Elegance brand lose the tag team titles? If they keep the titles, they're just going to tune out. I'm not going to keep tuning in to see them lose.
Half the audience left prior to the main event of Bound for Glory last year. I expect the audience to leave in droves if the Elegance brand still hold on to these titles after the TNA faithful see what they've done to try and bring back Allie to life. And Rosemary's been given the shaft since prior to the damn pandemic. Okay, that being said, we all say Demon X Bunny. Everyone can shut the fuck up. All right, moving on.
Frankie Noah.
I didn't shut the fuck
One
up.
down, Noah.
All right. Fine. Damn it, I'm fine. Fine. Okay.
Are you fine like Blackheart Leo Rush?
Yeah. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. It's fine. Trust me. It's fine. And I also trust in Ali as he's been the TNA International Championships. I try and restore my composure and move things forward here instead of predicting. Let's go ahead and talk about Mustafa Ali's open challenge for the TNA International Championship. Now, straightforward because we don't know the opponent, and everybody could pretty much put any name out there from the world as he's challenged everybody internationally outside TNA Wrestling while holding on to this title. And Ali, we all trust, since the Order 4 got a friggin' futuristic upgrade through Skynet, it felt like, when he beat Trey Miguel for this title, who, by the way, is still out injured, but did resign to TNA Wrestling. Good for the 419 guy. Appreciate him always. Represent Toledo. Mustafa Ali once again defends the TNA International Championship. Now, here's the thing. Open challenge, anyone, anywhere, anytime, but he wants to be somebody from outside TNA. He wants challenges to come from all over to face him. So Ali has brought open TNA for somebody to cross the line. So straight up, guys, you got 2 questions here, and everyone will get their piece because this actually has a different dynamic. Does Ali retain? And if not, who takes it from him? Do we have a brand new international champion, or in Ali, do you still trust? Let's go around the horn and see what everybody thinks. And we will start with Walter because he hasn't started one off here. Then we'll go to Rob, JJ, Emmanuel, Charles. Walter, in Ali, do you trust? What do you think about his run as TNA National Champion so far? And do you have any idea who could show up? And even if they did, does Ali lose the title?
I have no idea who's gonna answer the challenge, but I'm trying to think of everybody who's recently released or not signed. You know,
That's a long list. That's a long list, dude.
It's a long list. I say he loses. You know what? There's rumors that the whole Danhausen thing was Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin goes to TNA, and he
Bishop Dyer?
This. Yep, Bishop Dyer will answer this and defeat Ali.
He's in MLW right now doing isn't he a champion over there or something? MLW?
I think he's still tag team champion.
He's
but
tag team champion, but you can be open contract. TNA kind of lets you do that, but let's see if he has to give it up there.
All right. But either way, you got Ali retaining if it's not Bishop Dyer, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just put this out here before I give it to Rob. Believe it or not, folks, Mustafa Ali has held this title for 77 days. He's defended it now in UPW, TNA, ACW, House of Glory, and he just literally defended on the 20th in NGW. He's already has 8 successful defenses. Casey Navarro, Rich Swan, Jerry Morgan, Dylan Donovan, Kevin Lee, or Kevon Lee, excuse me, Chaz Hall, TW3, Adam Brooks, who we saw literally the first defense on TNA Wrestling when he introduced that he wanted to challenge everybody from all over. And he's had since TNA Rebellion when he won this title. His
I know
longest
what would
match
piss
was
you
against
off
Dylan Donovan.
if
What's
somebody from NXT answers and win the title. That'll piss you off because they gotta have it giving NXT the freaking titles in TNA.
I'm really getting fucking sick and tired of NXT trying to make TNA their bitch. They already
No,
tried to
I think
ruin
they're
the
done with
Knockouts
that
Championship.
crossover
All right.
stuff right now.
But I'm not trying to go down that proverbial road, okay? I just recovered from you guys giving me an epilepsy of headaches from Demon X Bunny not being called the champions and Elegance Grand Pause retaining. So I'm trying to be in a better mood right now. So let's not bring up NXT, please and thank you. Let's not forget what happened last year at Slammiversary, one of the worst main events ever. Just saying. All right, but that being said, he's got Mustafa Ali retaining. Rob, what do you think about Mustafa Ali? I mean, again, with the fact that at this time last year, he was feuding with Mike Santana and trying to be the next great leader that TNA needed. Now he's a whole different form of leader for TNA, defending this international championship and raising its stock of prestige. So do you think it's TNA that does that? And who you think shows up?
So this is where I thought Amazing Red should show up. I think he should have been the one challenging Ali in this match because at the last House of Glory pay-per-view, both of them were on that card.
Correct.
Amazing. Both of them were facing either opponents. They could have did a tease there to set that up. And they've been on multiple cards recently together for House of Glory. So it would have been perfect for them to be like, oh, okay. Amazing Red versus Ali. Give Ali somebody that can work well with him. And somebody, it won't hurt Amazing Red to lose to Ali. So I think they fucked up with that. Pardon my language, but yeah. I think they fucked up with that. Who I think they're going to bring in? I think they're going to bring in Apollo Crews. It's the only name circling around that I see viable that is not under the 90-day contract part going up to here. Because I think he's past that. Or I don't think he has a 90-day contract. I think he just got released type thing. He didn't renew his contract. So I think he beats that. And they had a story in WWE before.
Yeah, you're right. They did. I almost forgot about that in the bygone life. That's a fair shout. Continuity.
And my pick is still going to be Ali retaining, though.
That's fair enough. Well, all right. Well, shout out to the Mighty Morphin Pink Power. Follow her, Pop Culture Power Bomb, Razor Wrestling, fellow TNA faithful. And much like JJ, who's always said, in Ali we trust, I don't expect JJ's opinion to change whatsoever, as he literally does the stance, and I would do it with him. So, JJ, I don't think I even need to ask you as far as retainment goes, but you're also one of those people, as of course we covered so much independent wrestling with Pro Wrestling Symphony and GCW and HOD and Prestige. The list goes on and on. What do you think? We are out here in Boston, Massachusetts, not too far away from House of Glory, clearly. But who you think could cross the line? Somebody that was released from the Fed or somebody from House of Glory that we've covered before, Major League? Like, what could really be offered here to Mustafa Ali to come after him? Because that's what Ali's basically asking for. Someone, please prove me wrong. Kind of reminds me when he once faced Ruma Takahashi in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he was undefeated practically for the longest stint of his career on the independent scene while still with TNA Wrestling. Feels like he's trying to rebuild that, though, this time with the TNA National Championship along the way. What do you think about this?
So there's been rumors circulating that a former multi-time singles champion is going to show up at Slammiversary. A former multi-time WWE singles champion is going to slow up its Slammiversary. Now, we have an open challenge here. This seems like the perfect opportunity for that person to show up.
Right.
Question is who? Now, I can think of a couple of different people. One I can think of And it would most definitely be in a manual card situation.
Oh, Lord.
Because even though I'm going to say it, I don't think it's realistic. But this
Okay.
individual is a 5-time United States champion, 1-time Intercontinental champion, 3-time World Heavyweight champion, 14-time WWE champion, and just happens to hail from Massachusetts.
What?
Retired last year in December.
What? JJ, what?
Like I said, huge Emmanuel card situation.
I love it, though. That's brilliant. That's
But-
hilarious.
No.
But
Don't interfere.
now before everyone starts calling me crazy, let's think about this for a minute.
Okay.
Let's think about this for a minute, okay? In a realistic world, as unrealistic as this sounds, in a realistic world, TNA is WWE's partner. TNA has been dealing with a lot of negative publicity here lately. TNA needs something. You missed your cue, Noah.
He's no longer something. He's Doyle.
TNA needs something to swing the pendulum back to some positive publicity.
Right.
And a one-off appearance by John Cena to face Mustafa Ali, who I believe he also had a feud with. Could be an interesting one-off take.
John Cena has never faced Mustafa Ali nor teamed with him. They never met each other.
Okay, I could have sworn there was something there, but I could be wrong.
No, I looked.
That said, though, and I'm not done, Rob, put your hand down.
Yeah, I see you, Rob. You're good, brother.
That said, though, there is another WWE superstar who is a 2-time former hardcore champion, 2-time former United States champion, and 54-time 24/7 champion.
Oh, JJ.
Who
really?
grew up idolizing John Cena, who also is a former 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion during TNA's ownership of that championship. And we mentioned earlier, Slammiversary is about legacy.
That's what's up.
What if it's our truth?
If he comes out okay quick, then I'll buy into it.
No, because he started the Ron the Truth Killings gimmick in TNA.
Okay.
What's Up made its debut in TNA.
Okay. Fair enough.
Before Trick-N-A, the T in TNA stood for truth.
All right.
Either way, I think Mustafa retains, because I don't think, unless it is somebody that is actually going to sign a deal with TNA, I don't see the title moving.
Same.
But I think this is where we're going to see that multi-time WWE singles champion. Apollo Crews still has his 90 days. He won't be up until the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
So that ain't happening. But I could see WWE loaning R-Truth, just like they did AJ Styles from the main roster last year, for a one-off on Slammiversary. And he's the WWE Tag Team Champion, so Ali retaining against him helps build Ali's stock even more because he defeated a WWE champion.
That's fair. I'm not going to lie, though, JJ. I was also thinking about legacy. I thought of Consequences Creed because, again, we keep talking about the New Day, and he was previously involved, and I just thought that'd be interesting. But I know everyone's looking at the New Day going to I just spread out names here, just going out there with AEW. And then
Unfortunately, Creed is bound by the 90-day no-compete He won't be over until the beginning of August, which is why the New Day probably won't debut until All In, where the Motor City Machine Guns will probably debut at the Dynamite in Detroit right after Redemption.
Yeah, and I was about to say, you beat me to that punch. I was like, damn, the 90 days, because that would actually make fucking sense. And it's just one of those things right now where I look at what Mustafa Ali is doing with this championship. He has not lost a singles match since winning this title. Now, yes, the Order 4, they did lose a multiple kerfuffle against Mike Santana, Case Navarro, and Leon Slater. But that was as a faction, all right? And there's a bigger, of course, thing there when we look at Ultimate X in our main event. But it's just one of those things right now where I just don't see Mustafa Ali losing. If he does lose, it'll be Trey Miguel looking for revenge, considering it was a team effort and a freaking Tron bicycle helmet to the head that led to Mustafa Ali seizing this championship. Unless we're pushing Mustafa Ali for the TNA World Championship, he's not losing this. That's all I got to say about that. Period, point blank, simple. In Ali, I completely trust 100%. Rob, I do see your hand before we give it to man. What you got to say real quick?
I just want to say, yes, I agree with what you're saying, JJ. All with the WWE people coming in, because they have not said that it's somebody coming in that's signing a contract. So it could just be somebody coming in as a one-off. So
exactly. And it could be somebody from, again, House of Glory. How close are we to that? What if it's the freaking House of Glory champion, freaking Madman? What if it's, somebody we've seen within House of Glory? We talk about how much Amazing Red and a freaking...
they did say it's a former multi-time WWE champion.
Okay, so they are sticking to that. They are sticking to that. Okay.
But they didn't say that was who was answering the challenge.
It might just be somebody as a one-off.
Okay, fair enough. I understand both your points. I mean, at this point, hell, I would have been even more laughing if it was from fourth rope Enzo Amore. I just think that would be hilarious. But yeah, I don't see that happening either. All right, fair enough. Either way, in Ali, we all trust. And I'm sure that Emmanuel is going to say the same thing, and Charles will just literally say that sentence before we move on. Emmanuel, what do you got to say regarding this match? In Ali, do you trust?
Yes, I do believe in Ali. And the mysterious opponent will be the one, the only, Yaeska and Mr. Iwana. Why not?
What?
Yes, I played my manual card. Most likely that's not going to happen. You said, what's the screen?
He's funning me. I'm not even putting it up on the screen. He's funning me. This boy, he's on something stronger than tequila right now. He's actually buying into that.
You told me one per stream I have to play my man card. And this is my man card. Because who knows this dude they're going to get. And Mr. Guana makes sense. Like he's an international star. They've been using him once in a while. And why not go to TNA and mess with Ali? Mess with his mind. Like, who's this guy? Yes. That's not in approval. He approves. Thank you very much.
You drove JJ away. Charles, please add some sense back into this and say Ali, do you trust? And then we just move on.
Did you really ask Charles to add sense to something?
Yes.
When you got
nonsense, right?
When you got me in here, you know very well. I don't add sense.
Say the right thing here, I would hope.
Always retaining, but as far as who's answering the damn thing,
my God.
I'm more going to lean towards former Intercontinental Champion in this direction.
You got mine.
That's the issue. There's a lot that you can name of here.
But saying, you realize the legacy of that title?
Yeah, that's why I'm stuck here on that one.
I mean, Intercontinental Champion versus International Champion, workhorse titles in their own design. I mean, in a way, it does make a little bit of sense. But again, I also just want to remind you, we're in Boston, So you might want to think about that also when it comes to at Slammiversary, where we honor legacy. Who the fuck shows up for a one-off? I'm just saying.
Hey, Carmelo Hayes is from Boston.
Well, yeah, I suppose there is that. And
Mhm.
you see
He's a
Mustafa
multi-time
Ali,
singles champion.
NXT champion, and he ain't doing jack shit right now in the Fed. So, I mean, there's that.
You know what? Screw it randomly. I'm just going to throw a random name in here. The Miz. And let's move on.
He's too busy
well,
being a zombie housing.
that's why it'll be more hilarious.
What?
Carmelo Hayes is a
Mid-thousand.
good shout.
Yes.
I will say that.
About to say.
Well,
I mean, Miz, though, if he, yeah.
maybe that's why they kept him out of this weekend. TNA.
If you think about it, of the released rumors, Apollo Crews still got 90s. My son just said, why we assume it's a man? It could be Kyrie, but she's in the 90s. Xavier Woods, even Coffee was raised in Boston,
Is it
but he's
confirmed?
part of
Is
90
it
days.
confirmed that Apollo Crews has the 90 days? Or was he?
That's a good point.
Unless he was still on his NXT contract, and that would have made him a 30-day.
Right?
we'll see.
I don't know what his contract was or how he got released or if they just didn't sign him.
Yeah, Apollo Crews is one of those that's kind of like a blur as far as how he got released. He was just amongst all those other names. So
They
Apollo
forgot
Crews-
about him for fucking 20 years. Through every release, they forgot about him. They forgot he was there. They're like, hey, where'd he
Aleister
come
Black
from?
still has 90.
Right? What else did you look up, Walter? It sounds like you got a list in front of us here while we're getting our
No,
brains
I'm
going.
trying to think of everybody who got released there, but either way, it happened in April, so they all have 90 days.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I'm going to have
Fair
to
enough.
look this up.
and
Well-
Killer Cross, there's rumors of Killer Cross returning, but he's a champ right now where he is, and I don't think he wants to come back to.
After the way he was let go from TNA, yeah, probably not. And yeah, doing far better than it was his previous employer. That might be a conjunction with the previous employer. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But either way, in Ali, we all trust. We can throw out
Watch it be
names.
somebody from GCW, and I'll pop like crazy.
That's what I'm figuring at this point. GCW or HOG, but the
So
fact they're
April
talking about WWE
24.
Singles Champion.
Yeah, so Apollo Crews does have a 90-day
Hey, let Vipers come out.
release.
I would. Oh my god, if Vipers did that, I would.
You know
fucking
what?
pass out.
TNA is the only place where intergender wrestling for a championship can make sense and be viable. If Jada Stone wasn't involved previously in WWE, considering the fallout between him and Jada, I would have put Jada Stone in the conversation. Yeah, but she's also in TNA, so it's like, All right, good stuff, everybody. Great brainstorming. Let's move on. All right, Charles, I see your hammer clip. What do you guys say before we move on?
I'll joke and laugh if it's Penta.
Former TNA Tag Team Champion.
And former world. Did he win the world title?
For a day.
For a day, but yes, he did. Thank you, JJ.
One surprise.
I'm surprised JJ remembered that.
I've done my homework on Penta El Cielo Miedo.
Oh, well, muy bien. Well done.
Teaching
All right.
kids to throw up gang signs like it's okay to do.
Well, W's for the kids, but if kids can play Grand Theft Auto before they're 18, why not throw a gang sign if you're not straight out of Compton? Let's go ahead and move on, all right? In Ali, we all trust. Now, let's see who you believe will truly show no surrender. Can't beat the system! Can we please beat the system? For the love of God. It's Eddie Edwards with Alicia Edwards, ride or die from Boston. Both from Boston, by the way. Versus Moose with JDC. All right, folks. Once again, it's time for System Up or Down. Not System of a Down to be confused with the band. This is literally the second ever no surrender match in TNA wrestling history. Moose, the only person ever had one to win against Alex Shelley at No Surrender, where he was set to retain the TNA World Championship. When TNA was brought back to life and the system was born, we fought ad nauseum. It was Moose at the forefront of it, of the blueprint. He never was. It was always Eddie Edwards. Despite the fact Moose was the face of the franchise and was the TNA World Champion during the initial version of the system. Since then, we have seen, if not one, two other versions of the system, including the ousting of JDC, who has a retirement match this year at Genesis against Eddie Edwards. And Eddie Edwards introduced System 3.0, ousting Moose, ousting JDC, fooling us with Alicia Edwards if you didn't have your eyes in front of you, to say the least. Don't trust a Jezebel, folks. And basically introduced us to Bear Bronson and Sid Alexander, part of his newly designed system, saying he removed the cancer that was Moose, that was JDC, holding us back from what we can be. And truth be told, right now, Eddie Edwards' system not only holds the Estrogen Championship, they hold the TNA Tag Team Championships. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Nonetheless, we have been waiting for Moose to get his hands on Eddie Edwards, and we have seen every investment, including the Order 4 and Special Agent Zero, that has prevented Moose from getting his hands. Now we've reached a point of no return. This has to be the end game with these two. Alicia Edwards says she will die before she surrenders. I was fooling you from the get-go, as of course we saw ousted at Rebellion. And JDC, of course, said that you're obsessed with this. You are sick with this, Eddie Edwards, and it's ruining you. Eddie Edwards right now might be the definition of delusional. The bottom line, guys, what the system once was, the system might finally shut down that archive once and for all when one of these two has to surrender. For those that don't know, the only way a no-surrender match ends is if the corner person, JDC or Alicia Edwards, throws in the towel. There is no other way the match ends. So straight out, guys, does the system win? Do you trust the system? Or does Moose finally shut down the brainchild of the system? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. This one has me very intrigued considering the history of these two men, but also the legacy of the no surrender match. Again, Moose won the inaugural one. But I also think Moose, who somehow, someway has still been involved in TNA, the dude's got to get the fuck away from anything and anybody dealing with the system, for Pete's fucking sake. I'm just saying. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. Rob, you're new to this situation, so I'm going to see if you can try and dissect what you think happens with the system. I'm going to put you on the spot for this first. Do you have Moose or Eddie Edwards winning this no surrender match?
Well, first off, I always trust the system.
Oh, geez.
I fucking love the system. They are one of my... They hooked me in for the last couple of years in TNA.
Fair enough.
And I'm a big fan of Moose. I'm a big fan of Eddie Edwards. And honestly, I could see this match going either way. But with JDC in the corner of Moose, I think he's going to end up throwing in the towel to save him. Plus, it's in Boston. Eddie Edwards' hometown. It's in Boston. I think JDC will throw in the towel to save Moose from something. Being reluctant for a while to throw it in, but eventually he's going to end up having to throw it in. I think Eddie Edwards needs to win more than Moose does. Moose is a legend in TNA. I fucking love him. But I think Eddie needs to win more than Moose does in this, and I think he will get the win.
All right, then. You're actually going with the home team. All right. He went with Eddie Edwards winning this no surrender match. Well, I will say this as I go to JJ. Believe it or not, Moose and Eddie Edwards' history goes all the way back to 2016 when Moose beat Eddie Edwards in a singles match. That's how long these two have known each other. And to Eddie Edwards' merit, he has been ride and die, not only alongside his wife, but in TNA wrestling since he was brought in with MVP as part of the American Wolves and has stood out on his own. Of course, a former GHC heavyweight champion, two-time Impact World Champion. Last time he won that, of course, was during the pandemic. And now a 7-time TNA World Tag Team Champion, multiple times recently with Brian Myers of the system, who now, of course, is with Brian Bronson, which, of course, have the gold. But it's also one of those things that Moose, at one point he said, no Scott D'Amore, no Moose in TNA. He stuck around. And it's really a battle of pride, not only for TNA wrestling, but honestly, who truly was the better of the system versus the detriment. I feel like Eddie Edwards and Moose have always had this game of one-upsmanship against each other. So, JJ, considering the system was by design for Eddie Edwards to carry TNA forward into the future, but Moose was the one that kind of spearheaded it, I do think Eddie Edwards is a bit envious of Moose. I look at Eddie Edwards and Moose, I look at Moose as the bigger overall star and the better competitor. And maybe that's what Eddie Edwards is trying to prove here, that you're not better than me, and I am more TNA wrestling than you. So, what do you think about this? Do you think if Moose surrenders, could it mean Moose might leave TNA soon?
It's an interesting point. I've heard a lot of people talk about this lately because, everyone wants to talk about TNA and how everybody's leaving TNA and TNA has no stars. But I believe Moose has a checkered past that would prevent him from going to one of the major companies. Does that mean that should be held against him? Because it looks like he's clearly changed. Right. But we also know the way corporations are. I mean, tell me how many episodes of Dynamite Jay Briscoe wrestled on. I'll wait. Tell me how many episodes of Dynamite or Raw Tessa Blanchard have been featured on. I'll wait. Where Velveteen Dream and Enzo. I'll wait.
Enzo's fourth rope, Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, but is fourth rope something that's nationally televised?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. Thank you, smartest Mark alive. Appreciate you. That's one of the ones that I was trying to get to come for the Forbidden Door predictions.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, he's welcome on City Predicting anytime. I welcome City Predicting for anyone that's a fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. That's what this forum is all about. So thank you, everybody that tuned in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Please continue, though.
So with all that being said, I feel like Moose has to get the dub here because I don't think there's anywhere for him outside of TNA. Whereas the system, collectively or individually, I could see transcending to other companies. And if Eddie wins, where does Moose go from here?
Exactly.
It's the same conversation we had about Seth and Braun. I think Moose needs this dub, so I'm going with Moose because I have never ever see, Nick, there's something good that came out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Ever trusted the system.
The only time I ever trust the system is when they were finding off Dark State and NXT. And to your point outside that, 110% agree. I also agree. I also think that Moose is the one guy in TNA that you can have as the top singles star here in TNA to contend for the TNA World Championship, whether heel or babyface. And right now, Moose is trying to be, in my opinion, that next great babyface of TNA because he's garnered that much respect and connection with the audience. Let's not forget when it comes to Moose's commitment, by the way. This man had a thrown out back in a triple threat match, and he still completed the damn match because it was an exhibition impromptu on a TNA pay-per-view. Moose is a TNA lifer, I feel like, despite the pride that Eddie Edwards feels in leading this system. And if it means that Eddie Edwards is a great antagonist in pushing this forward, so be it. But everything has an end game. I don't think you get more of an end when it comes to your pride for TNA, let alone the pride for yourself when it comes to what the system meant or who truly was the standard of the system, than a no surrender match, damn it. And this is what TNA does. Unique circumstances and stipulations in what ultimately decides the better of the two. I don't think you go anywhere further after this. I think finally Eddie Edwards is just going to have to be humbled and surrender. Lead your system, but Moose moves forward, proves he's better than you, and goes after the TNA World Championship once again. Might I add, Eddie Edwards just challenged Mike Santana at Rebellion. Moose was the one that cost him when the system tried to come into play. Eddie Edwards needs to remove Moose from the equation, and constantly batting something you can't win is not the way to do it. Accept surrender, son. I'm going with Moose for the win as well. Thank you, JJ. That being said, Emmanuel, I see your hand, Rob. I'm going to go to Emmanuel first, and then I'll go to you. Emmanuel, what do you think here? Who surrenders and who wins?
Yeah, like I think you guys hit the nail on the coffin. I mean, I get the like if Eddie Edwards still had that contract, yes, I would see Eddie winning this and built himself to a TNA World Championship. But here he lost that chance in there, Canada. So why continue this feud and prolong it a little bit further? JDC, like I guess this is his farewell as well, because this is the last time we get to see him in TNA, like until they bring him back. Because what other cost is he going to be? Just be there, just to be there, because it's his hand of the chapter as well. Because he already retired, but he wants to see the system go down so he could be in peace. He could,
That's a good way of looking at it.
Okay. Yeah, like he's now in peace. He's now forgotten about the past, and he brought the people who betrayed him. And what a poetic story in that end. Alicia Everett is gonna throw the towel to protect her husband, because he's that beaten up, that battered. Then she's gonna throw the towel for protecting Eddie from himself and from the character as well, and moves for the win.
All right. Well, there you go. We got 3 mooses up top here. All right. Let's see here. You went out, so it's there we go. Rob, what you gotta say here, real quick, before I give it to Charles and Walter to conclude? You're muted.
Let Charles go first, and I'll state my piece.
All right, fair enough. Charles, do you trust the system, or does Moose force Mrs. Edwards to surrender?
Moose is winning this match. Because at this point, what the world are you going to do with Moose after he loses? That is all.
All right, as you were, Avatar. All right, Rob, what you got to say real quick before I give it to Mr. Reliable to conclude?
So, as me being the only one who picked Eddie Edwards,
yes, you're on the one out so far.
Like I said, I think Moose can lose this match and still be good. It's Moose. He's one of the big stars there. So what I was gonna say is, when I was watching the system, I was big into them, because I was into them while I was into the bloodline. Like, I was more into the system than I was the bloodline at that time. And they were coinciding with each other. Like, I think the system was a great faction when it was going. And I think I love this payoff now from where it started and where it is now. And I think, I still say Eddie Edwards should get this win.
Well, let's see if you stay the odd one out. I mean, it's again, sometimes mind, heart, mutual outlook. I respect that. And weirder things have happened. Hello, Sami Zayn. Stay tuned further on that conversation tonight, folks, on the Shenanigans, hosted by Ring of Wrestling, JJ Williams. That is so much fun. The weekly Myrick Conversation Wrestling Madness, 11 p.m. Standard Time. All right, Walter, let's see where you stand. Can't beat the system, don't trust the system, buy into the system, or does Moose shut down the system via Eddie Edwards, forcing him to surrender? Who you got?
I'm tired of betting against the system and being wrong. So
I'm about to say, yeah. Should we talk about Walter's track record?
I'm just gonna say Eddie Edwards, because you never know. WC could do one screw thing and throw it up. Remember, Owen Hart convinced his mom to throw in the towel to screw Brett out of a thing. So you can do a secret, kind of screw job thing with JVC. So I'm going with Eddie Edwards, because I'm tired of betting against the system and being wrong.
You realize that this might bite you in the ass the first time, right? That you actually
yes.
I love your convictions and I love your statistics, Walter. All right. Well, that being said, 4 Mooses, 2 Eddie Edwards. JJ, I do see your hand. What you got to say real quick, brother?
somebody brought Alicia Edwards into this. I could see Moose getting his hands on Alicia because of how she turned on him, and that's how he forces her to throw the towel in to get his victory.
I to that point, I want to add this little tidbit. Alicia Edwards was pleading for Moose to spear her. I'm not afraid of you. I will die before I surrender. I will die by my husband. Come on, Moose. This is your only chance. Spear me. Hit me. That woman literally instigated Moose to try and attack her, even calling the man a coward. And we've seen Alicia take some wicked bumps. If you don't remember Hardcore War, Agent Special Zero drove her down in tax. So you very much might be onto something where Alicia Edwards doesn't surrender Eddie Edwards' behalf. Eddie Edwards might surrender on Alicia's behalf because Moose might literally break that bitch in half.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing that too either. Damn Jezebel. All right, freaking virus. Thank you, JJ. That being
I wouldn't
said,
mind breaking Alicia Edwards in half.
And I called it. She was faking that injury. I told you all that. I knew
You
Alicia
did.
was never gonna leave
You
her
did.
husband like
You
that.
did. We saw it. We saw it firsthand at a freaking sacrifice. Yeah, Walter, I give you all the credit in the world for that, bro. Thank you, JJ, for that colorful tidbit. Good Lord.
You set yourself up for that one.
Don't act
Sometimes-
like you wouldn't like to break the bunny in half.
He's got you there. You almost got on me earlier, Noah. Just
Oh
saying.
dear, JJ left.
My
I
fat
don't know
ass will
what
break both of
happened.
them in
Let's go
half
ahead
just
and
staring
move-
at him.
I like how he didn't even deny it, by the way, either.
Shut the fuck up, Charles. Let's move on.
Because he wouldn't mind going down the rabbit hole.
Well, you don't stop that.
Exactly.
Shit. Fucking hell, I'm always the
Or in
butt
and
joke
out of
everywhere.
one.
Moving on, let's talk about the fall of the Angel Warriors as this angel deals with her own
She
personal
wants the
made
bunny
devil.
to choke on his carrot.
Oh, this wonderful man.
I'm just gonna.
Isaiah is gonna win either way.
Thank you, Rob, for giving a prediction. I'm this close cutting off this fucking feed. I swear to my lord. All right, moving on to the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Holy freaking hell. Lee defending the gold against Zaya Brookside. The former Angel Warriors now locked in Mortal Kombat. And Zaya Brookside has introduced the dark side. DDT recently on TNA Wrestling for the win. And basically, Zaya believes that she is finally going after everything that she should have. At one point, Lee and Zaya Brookside even fought over the TNA Knockouts World Championship last year at Final Resolution. All the fallout with freaking NXT instigating and ruining this title to the point the Birthright should have been having a vasectomy. Thankfully, Lee restored the prestige of this title, bringing it back home to TNA Wrestling, and Zaya Brookside was apoplectic to the point prior to Lee getting the confidence in herself to bring this title home. Zaya Brookside caused what felt like the last chance to bring this championship back home to TNA Wrestling, as we saw back at Rebellion, costing Lee her chance. Ever since the fall of the Angel Warriors, though, and translations in both British and Japanese, these two have fought wars and traded blows. As we recently saw, Lee cannot wait to get her hands on Zaya Brookside, and security has been involved multiple times. Zaya also earned this opportunity, by the way, winning the Knockouts Champion Challenge alongside Elena Black and Mara Sade, pinning Lee in the process. Straight up, once again, it's a story as old as time itself. A former women's tag team broken up, now finding each other one-on-one, the good versus the bad, the yin versus the yang, the dark angel of the ring versus the warrior of the ring. And I feel like Zaya Brookside needs to get thunderstruck and her wings clipped. But let's see if you all agree or disagree who leads in the Knockouts World Championship. Rob, since you were the only one to restore some sort of level of order, you can further elaborate and kick things off here for the Knockouts World title. Please go ahead and continue your prediction thoughts on this championship match.
So either way, there's going to be somebody named Zaya leaving with the title. Whether that be Zaya Brookside or former Zaya Lee. Shout out Thomas Garner. Anyways, my prediction is Lee is retaining the title because really she should be, I think. I think there's more women come after her in the knockouts division than Zaya Brookside. More women that are higher up, I think. So Lei Ying Lee to retain.
All right, fair enough. Letting Lee to retain, and I also agree. We were just talking about India Hartwell, Elena Black, one babyface, one heel, and Mara Sade earlier. India Hartwell, of course, who had her chance for this title last year, lost. And of course, Elena Black, when she first arrived, who did she target? The TNA Knockouts World Champion, who was holding at the time, Lei Ling Lee. And Mara Sade right now with Demon X Bunny going after the tag titles. Why not see if she could have a golden opportunity after being Elena Black one-on-one? For those that don't know, by the way, she's been champion now in the second run for 74 days, and technically this is her second defense after defending it at Chinlock Wrestling against M by Elegance, the former Maggie Lee. Of course, she's held this title since winning it against our Grace, thank Christ, back on TNA Wrestling back in April, the week prior to WrestleMania. Zaya Brookside, though, she has not lost a match, though, since going into her own dark ways, and just recently got a very emphatic win on Harley Hudson and Jada Stone over the last couple of weeks here in TNA. And sometimes you're very driven by your own dark convictions, especially for your first, hello, Sami Zayn. You could be surprised. And I also want to say this, for the first time in a long fucking time, we have a TNA Knockouts World Championship match in-house with in-house talent, thank Christ. You already missed the boat on Danny Luna, TNA. Don't fuck Zaya up. But the fact that it's Zaya's first chance as a heel, it does lead me to believe that this could go deeper. So I do think Lei Ling Lee retains. Now, whoever goes after her after that, story to be seen. Let's go to Walter next on this one. Walter, you've actually seen the beef live with Zaya Brookside and Lei Ling Lee. So I'm curious to get your takes on Zaya's newfound attitude and Lei Ling Lee right now, where her heart's been destroyed, but now she looks at Zaya only as her enemy and looks to kick her head off. What do you think about this?
I like her newfound attitude, and seeing her live in person, some of the things she did, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled the trigger and have her win the title. But I don't think they should do it on the very first one that they have. Or how many times has she? This is the first match between them, right?
Second match for the Knockouts World Championship since 2025. Their second singles match ever against each other.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. So I think the rivalry is going to continue somehow. So I think Lei Ling Ling, plus she hasn't had the title that long, so I don't know. I don't think she's losing it. So I say Lei Ying Lee to retain.
She hasn't even surpassed her first run yet of 87 days. She's 13 days short. So yeah. All right. That being said, so far retainment. Charles, do you got Lei Ling Lee retaining or Zaya Brookside coming into her own dark light at the TNA Knockouts World Championship?
We'll have a new Knockouts champion.
What?
Yep. We're going to have a new Knockouts champion.
Wow. All right. Why?
What would have been the point of turning her heel in the first place?
Clearly to break up the team.
If you don't go all the way with it or give her the title.
Okay. You're just going right immediately into it. As soon as you take a heel turn, I guess that's how you win a championship. Then again, Kevin Owens did that with Sami Zayn back in NXT. So not too far off, but dude, the TNA Knockouts World Championship is not hot potato, and this is the first time we have an in-house potential feud for the Knockouts World title. Let it cook, as the master chef, not named Swedish Chef, says here. Jeez, Charles. But okay, I appreciate the fact that you gave a polarizing prediction. Now let's see what JJ serves up. JJ, what do you think about this here? Zaya Brookside's newfound attitude, Lei Ling Lee, the cause and effect outside that triple threat with India Hartwell, Elena Black. I mean, India Hartwell and Zaya Brookside once challenged the Elegance Brown for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships when she was the Angel of the Ring. So honestly, Zaya and Indy could probably fight number one contender style, much like Indy did with Danny Luna before she became the Crimson Mask that should have been the Knockouts World Champion. What do you think happens here? This is their first one-on-one match, by the way, again, since 2025, Final Resolution.
Again, TNA needs to start banking on the future, not the past. They need to start building the young stars that can be the future of the company, not putting stock in the ex-WWE talent.
And Sarah, for those that don't know, is 27 years of age, by the way. Been involved 11 years in the game. Daughter of one Robbie Brookside. Continue.
Daughter of one Robbie Brookside, who is a trainer at the PC.
Correct.
I got Zaya Brookside here.
Okay. I'm curious if this becomes 3 and 3. That's 2 for Zaya and 3 for Lei Ling Lee. But I love the fact that at least this match, we're actually invested in to see what fucking happens inside TNA for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, and at least it will stay in this damn company. Damn it. All right, thank you, JJ. Emmanuel, you close this thing out. It's 3 for Lei Ling Lee, 2 for Zaya. Is it 50-50, or do you believe that Zaya gets thunderstruck and loses?
Breaking the cap at first 50-50 split. I was thinking to myself, like, hopefully somebody's gonna say Zaya Brookside, or not have to play my menu card again. Like Charles said, like, what would be the point of Zaya Brookside to turn heel? And it's okay for me, Lei Ying Lee to have short range. Like, it's okay. Like, it had to build up, like, and rely on your TNA talent. Like, don't always rely on WWE talent, aka AEW. But that's a different story. I'm just saying, but for me, it'll make more sense. Like, because if we could say a babyface is gonna win, like, if you have Indy Hartwell or Zara like to win, that it makes sense to have a heel champion of Zaya Brookside. But if you have JJ's favorite superstar, then you will have the Lei Ying Lee to retain. So it makes sense. So if you gotta pick one, I have to go for Zaya Brookside, because for me, I think like Indy Hartwell is gonna retain, gonna win that match, and then that's how you go to this Zaya Brookside business. Indy Hartwell. So.
Oh, okay. So you're putting Indy Hartwell in the Knockouts World Championship equation, basically. Again, like I said, last year she had her chance against Kalani Jordan, lost. 1 year later, though, Bound for Glory, finally becoming the knockout, seems poetic. But like I said, Elena Black, she came in and confronted, on behalf of Daria Ray's business, the TNA Knockouts World Champion, and it was Lei Ling Lee at the time. And so far, Elena Black, she's had pretty good fortunes in recent singles action. But I like the fact that we do have at least a dynamic in either way. So really this match can go between. And again, you don't know somebody more familiar than who you teamed with for the better part of the last year. And I do think this is not going to be a one-off with these two. So I can understand where you're coming from. But again, she just won it. Let this cook a little longer. Yes, she just turned heel. Yes, we should invest in her because she's younger. But also, Lei Ling Lee, she just resigned last year, in case you all forgot. These two might literally spearhead the Knockouts division inside TNA for the TNA Knockouts World Championship to restore some prestige back to it in-house in TNA, and then you add those others that you named to the mix. I think Lei Ling Lee retains for now. We just got the breakup. See how personal this really gets. Lei Ling Lee for the retainment. But hey, 50-50. First time. I love it. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there to something that's going to be anything but righteous, will probably break most people's minds, and maybe, just maybe, JJ will finally see a couple of great hands achieve the accomplishment, because they just got added last night on TNA Wrestling. Once again, Slammiversary, it's a ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. This time, the champions going in are not the Nemeth, thank Christ. It is Brian Myers and Bear Bronson of the System. Not the regular Hardys, despite the fact Jeff Hardy used a button freaking release rope ladder to regain the titles last year, but the Broken Hardys. You also have to, what I'm saying, man, the Righteous, Vincent, and Dutch, and just added last night, Jason Hodge and John Schuyler of the Order 4, the Great Hands. All right, folks, straight up, it's 1 year Slammiversary. Once again, we find ourselves with the TNA World Title Champions in the ladder match, and we find the Hardys back in the equation, and this time they're broken. Of course, the Hardys lost the Tag Team Championships thanks to the Righteous's anything but righteous plan. Back, of course, at Rebellion, where Bear Bronson and Brian Myers seized the titles after Vincent got the better of Jeff Hardy, both physically and mentally, after Matt Hardy was left bruised, battered, broken, thanks to Dutch. Since then, Walter, who saw it live, escalated to newfound levels of weird in a righteous garden match. That was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe you saw that madness live, bro. Now we have the System holding down the TNA Tag Team Champions again. This time, not Brian Myers and the Edwards, but Brian Myers, who's such an accomplished tag team specialist, damn it, and Bear Bronson. But we also have the Great Hands, which JJ will tell you ad nauseum. He's been waiting for Jason Hodge and John Schuyler to not only get the opportunity, but hold on to the Tag Team Championships. With this new version of the System brought to us this year since January, with the Order 4 rebooted back at Rebellion, where Mustafa Ali has led by example, and that faction seems more stronger and united than ever. With the Broken Universe brought back to us again, with the Righteous now interfering with it, this truly could go any team's way. For those that don't know, to win this match, climb the ladder, seize the titles, you are the Tag Team Champions. It's truly as simple as that. But do we see new Tag Team Champions once again? Does the Hardys do it 2 years in a row? This time, broken. Does things finally get righteous for this tag team division? But does a couple of Great Hands finally hold the titles in hand? Let's go around the horn and see what everyone thinks about this. I'm very curious to see whether or not it's his team or, again, mind versus heart, what he goes with. But he's going to spearhead the main event. That being said, we're going to kick things off this time with Emmanuel, who hasn't started one in a while. Emmanuel, who you got leaving? And because it's only 4 teams, you get 1 pick only. Who you got leaving with the TNA Tag Team Championships? The Righteous, the Hardys, the Great Hands, or does the System work and retain?
Wow. I'm in a predicament because I thought it'd be a queen. Like if Robert's right about a certain matchup that I went against, that means the System is clean sweep the pay-per-view if they retain these tag team titles, don't they?
Technically, yes, that would be correct.
But the Hardys, you don't need the Hardys to regain those titles after a lengthy, long tag team championship run. For some odd reason, my mind's going for the Righteous Brothers. Like, if you don't give them, then you just give up on them. I don't know what else you do with them in the TNA world. Like, you gave them so many chances in the tag team championship opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and to keep losing and losing. Like, just like Sami Zayn, like he was 0-9, 0-10 before tonight. Eventually, you're gonna give it to the Righteous Brothers. So my pick is the Righteous Brothers.
All right. Really? The Righteous? All right. Well, let's see if I dig what you're saying, man. We got new champions with the Righteous. It's kind of funny, Walter. While you saw the Righteous guarding with the Broken Hardys, the Righteous and the Hardys have defined this tag division since the start of the year. It all started back at Genesis, where the Righteous like, this is what we wanted, man. And then we saw in a bizarro world, the Righteous and the Hardys work together against the Order 4, let's forget, losing effort. Since then, the mind games have gone on full display, including what happened at Rebellion. And now we find the Broken Hardys brought back to life thanks to the Righteous's anything but righteous actions. And while the Righteous lost in their own weird world of bizarreness, we still have yet to see them go to the Hardy compound, as so many people have been trying to fantasy book, including you and JJ for that matter. So that being said, do you agree with what Emmanuel is laying down, or do you have a different idea in mind? Or again, is the TNA Tag Team Championships truly defined by the Hardys across any spectrum of the many multiverses in and out of the Lake of Reincarnation? What do you think?
For the last few months, it pretty much seemed like Righteous and Hardys were like the only tag teams, even though there was more. But it was like, geez, can somebody else get it? But nah, I think finally Righteous gets it. And the fact that it's a multi-person tag team, the system don't need a long title run. They got it. You trusted him, but again, here we go. Shoot myself in the foot because I'm betting against the system again. But yeah, the fact that it's a multi-man match makes me a little more confident. But damn it, I'm gonna go with the Righteous to win the tag titles.
All right, fair enough. So we got 2 for the Righteous. I'm kind of surprised by that. All right. Hi, JJ. So, JJ, how many times on City Predicting's history of TNA Wrestling have you voted for the Great Hands in either fantasy booking or match-wise to be TNA World Tag Team Champions? Here they are with a golden opportunity to do just that. Does it finally happen, or do you dig when we're putting down the Righteous? Or do you have a different team in mind? What's your thoughts? That's a great freeze frame. There we go. Hold on. He's loading something in. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, JJ, unmute and tell us why. This is going to be interesting.
I've got the Great Hands here.
There it is.
Simply because they were added last minute. I think there's a reason for that. I'm not 100% sure what the reason is, but I think because of the fact that the Great Hands were not originally a part of this, it was going to be the System, the Hardys, and the Righteous. It was going to be, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. And all of a sudden, a random 4th team got added to this.
Fair shout.
I think the Great Hands are finally going to walk out of this with some gold.
Okay. You went with the wild card, basically. You went with the last team added.
Mm-hmm. And Hotch is from Michigan, which granted isn't Massachusetts, but it's not far from the area.
You know what? That's a fair shout, by the way. I'll give you that. And I believe that the Great Hands have not had a chance yet at the TNA World Tag Team Championships. This is their first. Even as Good Hands, they didn't get a chance. Just want to put that out there for you. That being said, we got 2 for the Righteous and 1 for the Great Hands. Robert, that brings you forward, my friend. What do you guys say? What's your pick?
We got 2 for the Great Hands now.
What?
Same thing like JJ said. Originally, my pick was going to be the Righteous. Actually, no. My original pick was going to be the Retention.
Oh, okay, for the System.
Yeah. But sorry. Yeah. So that would have been my pick. I was like 49-51 between them and the Righteous. Hardys, they didn't need the fucking titles. Like, they've already had their fucking run. And then they added this. Then they added the Good Hands in. And I want to get this out of the way. The Hardys, the Righteous, the System, the Good Hands in the TNA ladder match for the TNA Tag Team Champions.
This match brought to you by the word "the."
I think so.
All right, fair
But
enough.
yes, I have the good hands winning because there's a reason they added them in. And I think the reason is for them to win. Like,
Finally, their work pays off. They finally get their just due, and the
Yeah,
Order 4 also
and-
more gold.
I'm throwing, I don't know if you all can see that.
What's that say? Make some eyes hit. Let me go ahead. JJ, go ahead and do it. Not clicking. There we go. They're young in the making. 3 years in the making. Oh, yeah, just us. Oh, okay. That's a fair shout.
Yeah.
Their post on X. It's their time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 3 years. Unbelievable. Finally, give them a
Right?
bone. And what a stage to do it, especially with the reboot of the Order 4. All right, fair enough. We got 2 great hands, quite literally. Look at that, 2 great hands. And we got 2 righteous. Charles, let's go to you before we go to me. Where do you stand in this? We got 2 teams picked so far. Are you picking one of them, or are you picking one of the other 2?
Righteous all the way.
He's righteous. All right. Why are you going with the righteous, bro? I mean, literally, this is like, what, the 4th match now the Hardys and the Righteous have shared this year? As far as the titles being in play? Dadgum.
Yep. I'm back in the Righteous for this. It's time for them to win the tag titles.
You just literally are gonna ride and die with the Righteous, are you?
Yes. Just like I ride and die with Elijah.
Oh, well, AJ Francis now owns Elijah, but I guess they might have a one-on-one match. I haven't seen a grab for them for Slammiversary, where if Elijah wins, he gets all of his music endorsements, rights, namesake, and even his guitar back. Otherwise, Flopdower takes full right and profit and control of him and possession. Good luck. All right, fair enough. So we got righteous, great hands, nothing for the system, nothing for the broken Hardys. The fact of the matter, though, that the Hardys and the Righteous have been the story much to Walter's point of the tag division this year, where they haven't even needed the titles, but 2 of the last 3 matches they've shared have involved the TNA Tag Team Championships, Genesis and a tables match. Then we had a Righteous Garden that brought the Broken Hardys to life. The Righteous and the Broken Hardys is a fever dream on Halloween from the Hardy compound waiting to happen. So what does that leave? That leaves the system, and that leaves the Order 4. The only 2 factions in TNA wrestling that are under faction warfare. And I still go all the way back to when Eddie Edwards invested in Special Agent Zero to neutralize Moose from getting to him at sacrifice. What did Tasha Steelz and Mustafa Ali said after leaving that negotiation? I don't trust them, of course, but I have a plan. And I feel like this reboot for the Order 4, where they ushered in a dark future led by Mustafa Ali seizing the TNA National Championship, was for a reason. And why Tasha Steelz is nowhere near the TNA Knockouts World Championship equation, I do think the Great Hands are due for their moment. And I do think the Order 4 are trying to take over TNA wrestling. Much to probably JJ's surprise, I also am going with the Great Hands for the win here. I think it is their time. I think we finally need to step away from the Hardys and the system dictating the TNA Tag Team Division. I got Jason Hodge and John Skyler getting the win. I'm going with the Order 4 here to become the new TNA Tag Team Champions. All right. Well, that being said, 3 Great Hands and 3 Righteous. To the Hardys, remain broken. To the system, shut down. Okay. Well, we've had a lot of great fun, unique chat, bunch of what ifs, some wild tangents regarding knockouts, apparently. But let's go ahead and get right into it and talk about our main event for the TNA World Championship. It is Mike Santana, who says he literally eats, sleeps, breathes TNA wrestling and will die for this, taking on the wanted man, Nick Nemeth, who says that he will always be a bigger star, a bigger box office name that can go in and out of TNA, but they will pay him more money because of his namesake, and he is what TNA needs. After a very volatile face-to-face contract signing and sit-down summit, where the lesser Nemeth got involved and then got bludgeoned on sight by Mike Santana, these two came to full blows as Nick Nemeth has insulted Mike Santana both as a champion and as a father, bringing up his past. Mike Santana, though, who's been one hell of a fighting champion since, of course, seizing this title back, outlasting also Eddie Edwards and Frankie Kazarian and Steve Macklin and Eric Young. But Nick Nemeth, who used this stage first time to prominence at the expense of Kazarian to win his only ever TNA World Champion, as Nick Nemeth has called his shot. Much like at Edwards Rebellion, this is Nick Nemeth's shot, and we'll see if his shot misses or hits the mark. So, bottom line, does Mike Santana spin the block and wipe out the one that matters? Does Nick Nemeth prove to us once again just how goddamn good he is? And do we get a brand new TNA World Champion? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. That being said, JJ, what do you think here? Mike Santana has been a namesake of TNA Wrestling since arriving at Rebellion and has truly put this company on his back. Nick Nemeth, though, who wanted to start things over after being the former Dolph Ziggler, he started over here in TNA Wrestling, but has been kind of mixed fortunes lately. At one point, we thought Nick Nemeth was a babyface, and again, when you're against Flop Dollar, everybody is. But with the fact that he and Ryan Nemeth are trying to double team Mike Santana, the jury is out. Do you think that Mike Santana spins the block of Nick Nemeth? Does Nick Nemeth take Mike Santana into the danger zone and regain the TNA World Championship? What do you think's happening with this title?
This one is really tough.
Yeah, it is.
Because on the one hand, Nick Nemeth doesn't need the title. On the other hand, if rumors are to be believed, Santana's contract is up pretty soon. I don't remember the exact date, but it's before the end of summer. Before Bound for Glory.
In October.
So when do you take the belt off him? You know, because you can't have him hold on to it until Bound for Glory.
I mean, he's been champion now for 164 days, and he's had literally 6 defenses. And the fact of the matter is, JJ, everybody he's defended against has been a veteran, basically, of TNA Wrestling or former TNA World Champion. Macklin, Edwards, Swan, Macklin again, and Eric Young. Just saying. And Kazarian.
Yeah. You know, I would rather see him lose it to a young guy, but I also feel like a young guy would make a better name for themselves beating the former Dolph Ziggler. You know, no disrespect to Santana. I know the gentleman beneath me loves him some Santana.
And he'll be going after you, by the way, to see if you two share the brain.
Got to be part of his entrance and everything.
I saw that, by the way. That was pretty cool, bro. Continue.
But Santana's name isn't as big as Nemeth's name. And I think that's just the world we live in.
Do you still consider Nick Nemeth's name more synonymous in the Rooster TNA era, though, versus Mike Santana?
I mean, to steal Walter's gimmick with the puns, he definitely made an impact when he debuted. Probably the last real impact that was made. So I've got Nemeth walking out of this with the belt.
Oh, new champion. All right.
I do have a new world champion.
Okay, then. Strong setting ballot. We have a title change for the TNA World Championship. Well, Walter, again, the pride you have not only for TNA since you saw it live, much like me, TNA Faithful, but the pride you have in Mike Santana, where you could literally connect with him on so many levels. But he has been a long-standing champion. For the longest time, though, we were thinking about Leon Slater, he's not even in the equation. And the youngest in charge and young, bright, hungry roster here, other names we talk about on this card, Mike Santana, he's been basically there alongside them in this journey inside TNA Wrestling. Nick Nemeth, he's kind of just been all over here. Now he's decided to finally call his shot. What do you think about this, though? Do you think that Slammiversary leads to Nick Nemeth's rise again? Or, as Mike Santana has done pretty much this whole year, spins the block of every one of these veteran names, bigger names, and all those names, by the way, I just mentioned, they're all still bigger than Mike Santana in general from TNA Wrestling standpoint. And Nick Nemeth feels like he's the last one in this company not named Moose in this run that Mike Santana has yet to spin the block of. So that being said, do you have a new champion, or does your boy does it again?
I'm so torn with this one because I don't want to go against my boy, but that contract situation just brought up came to mind. But keep in mind he can. Well, JJ's got his hand up. Let me see what he.
Yes, JJ.
Just to help people with their decision here, I Googled, and according to Google, Santana's contract expires mid-July.
Ooh. Oh boy. Continue, Walter.
But you can always have option C from the Ultimate X, and on an episode of Impact, that person does that and beats him here. So you can have him retain and then lose to whoever does option C. And especially if you imagine, none of us picked him, but imagine Slater wins that. And then chooses option C and beats Santana. And now you have the youngest. He was the youngest champion, and now he's going to be the youngest world heavyweight champion in TNA, or TNA world champion. Like, you can really make a star out of that if you do it that way. But we've seen contracts almost lapse and people keep titles and then they sign maybe like an extension or a last minute they sign. And Santana seems to be a TNA faithful. Will some other company slip him away? Because I wouldn't mind seeing Santana in GCW and things like that and independent. Plus, it also might give us a bigger chance of interviewing him. So that's selfish reasons. But
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I'm so back and forth. He's my boy. I don't want to pick against him. I think I'm gonna say retention.
All
but
right.
I won't be shocked if Nick Nemeth wins.
I look at this whole entire match card, and I truly feel like even more than Layling Lee and Brookside, this is the match you could flip a coin and you still could possibly be wrong. But somebody has to win here. There has to be a winner, in my opinion, because with how long Nick Nemeth has been waiting to call his shot and watching Mike Santana hold on to this, with how much pride that Mike Santana has had for TNA wrestling to become its standard and hold on to this championship, you can flip a coin 100 times and you still could probably be wrong. Literally a quarter of the time. I'm torn on this one too, but I look at it this way. Yes, the contract may be up soon, but which one has truly been valued by TNA Wrestling more? I think it's Mike Santana. I think they put way too much stock and investment in him, even during the NXT invasion nonsense that led to all that. And I do feel like he might be one where, yeah, he might expire, but I think he's going to resign. We've already seen how many resigns this year. No one's been able to define themselves bigger as a singles world champion in such a short period of time here in TNA under these letters of TNA in this era than Mike Santana, in my opinion. And I think he deserves that. And I also do think, much like we're talking about, it should be a passing up the guard to somebody new to try and lead the next generation. And if the Fed's going to snatch Leon Slater, there is still a lot more of a potential in the younger bit of the TNA men's equation. So with that being said, I'm going with Mike Santana to retain. I think he still retains here as well, and especially after the crock of shit we got last year at Slammiversary, where he got ousted and shafted, not only in trying to get the title back at this show, but the way he won last year at Bound for Glory and have the audience left. Give the man his just due, TNA Wrestling, and let him have a marquee, successful, full-on match and retainment on pay-per-view. Let's forget the Steve Macklin incident that, thank goodness, Alex Lane was able to call for the safety of the competitor, but did not get the match he deserved on the bigger stage. This is the first time he's getting a world championship match on the biggest stage of TNA since he's been here, and he's going in as champion. I think he wants out with it too. Mike Santana for the win. Emmanuel, what do you think here? Do you got Nick Nemeth or do you got Mike Santana?
For me, like, I hope Mike Santana retains this and stays in TNA, to be honest. Cause
I think TNA needs him, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. They really need to keep him. If not, then it's not going to be a good sign for the future of TNA, just saying right now. Because if you lose Max Santana and you lose Leon Slater, who's left? And there's an upcoming young star that, you know, could hold the TNA front line. Like, it's that slim. So right now, like, hopefully Santana does resign and he does win this. If not, then TNA is more in trouble than we realize right now. So hopefully Mike Santana wins this.
All right, fair enough. We got Santana, and a Nemeth so far. JJ, you are the odd one out. Let's go ahead and get Charles' pick here, and that way he could retreat back to the manhole that he came out of and go rest. Charles, what do you think here? Nick Nemeth or Mike Santana? Who leads TNA into whatever future might be there for those Brandon letters?
Simple enough. JJ's not going to be the only one. I'm picking Nick Nemeth to win the title. And that's all I got to say on that one.
All right, Charles. I mean, again, I like the fact tonight you truly are short, brief, and simple without bringing me to insanity. But again, it's one of those things also where if Nick Nemeth, if he is the one being hunted after, that does lead a lot of young prospects here to probably grab in too. Leon Slater, of course, pinned Nick Nemeth, Rob, back during an impromptu tag match of the X Division and the TNA World Champion versus the two men that could call their shot. Matt, good to see you. So Nick Nemeth could probably be looking for his win back against the youngest in charge if Leon Slater gets the X Division title and goes in with option C. Most of this year has been teasing the idea of Leon Slater versus Mike Santana out of mutual respect. For all I know, though, if Leon Slater does win the X Division championship, there could be a golden opportunity where he might just choose to call his own shot, and Mike Santana might give it to the young man based on his work ethic, the pride of a champion. I'm just saying. But that's neither here nor there as we look at the two men right now on the marquee. So, Rob, you close things out here and Cedric predicting with this match. Do you got Mike Santana retaining or Nick Nemeth winning?
Well, we're 3-3.
Again.
I'm going with JJ and Charles on this. I think Nick Nemeth is winning this. I think Santana is on his way out. I don't think he's resigning. I think TNA knows that, and they're putting the belt on Nemeth. Nemeth has the contract. Santana hasn't signed. Put the belt on Nemeth. Then they at least had the belt on somebody that has a contract. TNA is already, apparently, from the rumors, fucked right now with a lot of things. Why are they gonna leave the belt on somebody that they don't know if they're gonna sign or not? And plus, so Nemeth and who else? Frankie Kazarian. They both won
shots, yes. And Frank Kazarian got his block spun earlier this year in that Texas death match where Mike Santana retained while Nick Nemeth was the special guest referee.
Exactly. So one of them should win it. So Nemeth should win.
Okay. Well, that being said, the World Championship match ends 3-on-3. So again, we'll see what happens and what the last thing is after TNA Slammiversary. But that being said, folks, what are your thoughts towards TNA Slammiversary this year? Do you got new champions? Who do you see cross the line for the first time? Maybe confront Mustafa Ali. Is the system finally going to be shut down? Do things become righteous? Do Great Hands lead the tag division? And does a Dark Angel rise as the new face of the Knockouts division? That and so much more to be determined literally in less than 24 hours. So good luck to everybody as we prepare for TNA Slammiversary. And again, due to the fact of priorities over passions and circumstances out of our control between budget and streaming services, you will get an on-demand coverage of TNA Slammiversary, date and time to be determined, but I assure you, it will be before the Fallout this Thursday on TNA Wrestling. Stay tuned here at Simply Reliable Studios. And thank you all so much. Let's go ahead and get the F out of here and relax. And again, folks, stay tuned for the form. I will send it to you all privately, and good luck to everybody. Rob, been an absolute pleasure having you for the first time here. You've absolutely been a beast in your predictions. Go ahead and tell where the people can find you and connect with you.
You guys can find me on Facebook, Rob Gregg. Just type in my name there, and you can look up FSB if you want to participate in predictions over there. Type that in. You can find me on either page.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being part of the festivities. If you need to take care of other things, you're more than welcome to relieve yourself. And again, thank you so much for being part of the predicting, and I'll see you around in and out of the YouTube community. All right. Emmanuel, thank you as always. Good luck in predictions. Let's go ahead and plug your stuff, my friend, and where people can further connect and find you and your sister.
Yes, you can follow me at Interacting Games and Movies, where YouTube is me in pain because of movie copyright, but that's okay. That's all right. We have to move on. If you haven't seen the newest episode, it's going to be uploaded. Noah's going to college and going to community college as a fortune teller. I randomized the name, and guess who came up first? Noah. I kid you not. But if you can follow me at Facebook, Emmanuel Dominguez, EDM724 at Instagram. You can follow Arlene Dominguez at Facebook, Arlene Dominguez on Instagram, ADM7244 at the X. Notice I'm not dissing my sister right now because she's in the vicinity, so I don't want her to beat me up right now. So,
good man, good bruv, wise move, young Padawan. All right, Emmanuel, thank you so much. Walter, it's so good having you back on City Predicting. Again, good luck with Team Slammiversary predictions. Let's go ahead and connect and tell what the people can find and further engage with you. Take care always, my friend.
You can find me at Rage of Wrestling on the YouTube, Walter.Cruz.940 on Instagram, and X at Walter Alex Cruz.
There you go. It's as simple as that. And stay tuned. We level up with super reliable gaming in the near future. Time and date to be determined, as well as gaming competition and system. Appreciate you always, Walter. God bless you. Well, JJ, we finally got through all these sleepy things, but the work is never done here. Where can people further connect and find you? And what else have you been up to?
What a great graphic that is. Even Rob is throwing up the U.
Damn it.
Find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube Casa D18.
I love Chase U.
Oy vey.
I still wish I would have got one of their sweaters. I missed out on that.
All right, groupie, let's let JJ speak now. Great, we got another Chase U student here, part of the family. Continue, JJ.
Like I was saying, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios, on X at Casa D18 Studio, no S at the end. You can also follow us here at the Simply Reliable Studios at SR Studios 2024. Make sure you guys tune in at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific tonight for the Saturday shenanigans. Not sure if it'll be moderated by me or Noah yet. Maybe a little co-hosting going on. But yeah, we had Night of Champions. This all happened. We're going to be talking about it.
All right.
So make sure you're up to date on the clips, Noah. But yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll get into some other stuff as well. Of course, we got Forbidden Door tomorrow. We got Slammiversary tomorrow. We got Great American Bash tomorrow. We got double feature of GCW shows this weekend. A lot of wrestling. You know, we love saying it here at the Simply Reliable Studios. This is definitely one of those weekends. No, I'm sure you'll echo my sentiment. If you can't find something to enjoy, get the fuck out the fandom.
Simple as that. I am the Superman, and I approve that message. Thank you, JJ, as always. And I will see you in non-shenanigans, at least for the 2 hours, because I'm always happy to double team with you. As I'm always happy to further engage and predict with any one of you in and out of this forum, in the chat or on screen, despite the fact you make my blood boil sometimes with some insane freaking comments. But we don't want you anyway. I need it with this forum. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. You want to further engage with me? Find me if you choose, try if you dare, and then Foster 1916 on the X and on YouTube. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan, a professional wrestling. Damn it! The Cinema Days have finally concluded, so thank you all for tuning in to any of these crazy 4 streams. As JJ so eloquently put it, tomorrow we are covering AEW Forbidden Door live, me and our Canadian friend Ash. On-demand coverage will be there for Great American Bash and TNA Slammiversary in the near future. Stay tuned for more on that. Then stay tuned for Ridiculously Breakdown with me and Papa Gino for WWE Night Champions and AEW Forbidden Door across the men's brand and the Papa Gino Network. So subscribe and follow like him today at Papa Gino 0017. Appreciate you always, bro. And I brought her up earlier. Again, shout out to our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger friend, Dutilla. Follow her at Reigns of Wrestling when it's wrestling time. On the forums you see right there, as well as our newest venture, Pop Culture Powerbomb on the X at PC Powerbomb. From one queen to another, shout out again to our Canadian friend Ash. Don't be a dickhead. Subscribe today to Baddies Young Punks at Baddie for Wrestling. And stay tuned when me and her will do a Baddie Bracket Breakdown on the G1 Climax and the field that is to come forward too. And that's all I got to simply say and promote. I always like to conclude there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans with opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, just your life, and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in once again to another edition of Simply Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And shout out to Jeff motherfucking Meacham, by the way. Hit the bells, video goes live on demand on any of the YouTube channels or feeds here at SR Studios 24. Follow us on the X. I assure you, the commentary, the creativity, the passion, the insanity, the fantasy booking, the predictions is not going to let up anytime soon. But that's all I have to say. So in Kenny Mega fashion, as per usual, I bid you all now a fine adieu. For Rob, for Charles, for Jeff, for Emmanuel, for Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz, for the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams, for all of you in the chat that have engaged with us, I thank you all once again. And until next time, Rob, I see your hand up. What you got to say real quick?
I just want to say one last thing. Joe Hendry.
Really, dude? Really? We're going to end with that freaking...
Yeah.
Say his name and
Why?
he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
One last impact just to raise my blood. Thank you so much, Rob. We'll see where you stand next time. And until next time, folks, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night. Leave a lasting impact that's positive in someone else's life. And thanks for tuning in to Simply Predicting TNA Slammiversary. Have a good one, folks. We'll see you next time here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Take care.
Happy 4th of July.
And God bless the red, white, and blue. 250 years of this insanity. Good Lord.
Happy 1st of July. Canada Day.
And yeah, I'm about to say, shout out to the Bunny Alley Canadian.